Hey, this is Chase Sexton. You're listening to the MotoXpod show.
What's up, you guys? Jeremy McGrath here. You are listening to MotoXpod show.
What's up? We are back with another Vital MX MotoXpod show presented by Racetech and Yamaha Motor USA. Somehow we haven't been canceled yet with TJ and Scotty's antics over there. They're the worst. We haven't been fired. So we're back again. Another chance to talk about this week's race from Unadilla. We may touch on MXGP of the Netherlands. That was one of the most amazing races I've watched in a long time. I said Unadilla a minute ago, I think. Budds Creek is what I meant. Did I say Unadilla? You're muted, but just shake your head. Did I say Unadilla? No? Okay, well, either way. But Budds Creek. We're going to discuss our thoughts on that. Upcoming Ironman. Who knows what else we might talk about. We'll do our segments. Lots of stuff to get to. Some fun guests, including Hep Motorsports' Kyle Chisholm, Rock River Yamaha's Marshal Weltin, and a six-time South African national champion, Cameron Durow, who has been racing the Nationals and going back to South Africa to race the local series there. We're going to get him on the phone. Lots of fun stuff. Once again, presented by Racetech and Yamaha Motor USA. In studio, once again, working the cameras, YouTube chat, Scotty Thompson. What's up?
Oh, I've got paper towels today, so if I start tearing up,
good.
I'll be good to go.
That's good. You mainly for your crumbs from your pizza that you keep dropping everywhere. But
well, I guess you need to sweep your floor.
Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, I do that like once every 6 months. It's cleaning day, once every 6 months. Also in studio, TJ, back.
What's going on? This is like a record for this year.
I feel like it's a record for like the last 5 years.
Well, I mean, I'm very sad to set this record because I would love to be back at work, but no. And then you talk about us getting fired. Mm-hmm. Maybe they're just doing the whole office space type of firing.
Where they don't pay you and wait for you to leave?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, man. I got my paycheck yesterday or today. What is today? Say the 20th? Yeah, I got paid today. Yeah. I got paid today, I think. I haven't looked, but I'm pretty sure I got paid today.
But don't speak too soon.
Yeah. Well, let's get the show done. We'll see if we still have jobs here.
That sounds good.
As I said, the show is presented by Racetech, which is the world's largest aftermarket motorcycle suspension modification company, and they have over 35 years of experience providing factory-level suspension to the everyday rider. You guys know all about Racetech. I don't know how many of you guys are riding regularly. Your suspension needs to be serviced. You might need to get it resprung, revalved. Racetech can take care of you. Racetech.com to find your local service center. Find out who your local techs are. They're probably at some of your local tracks. You can go do some laps. Hell, they probably could help you set your settings there. But check out Racetech.com for all your suspension needs and motor needs. Let's talk about Budds Creek to start with. Chase Sexton again with the overall. Hunter Lawrence did not get his first overall. I think I called it. He didn't do it. So we'll see about next week at Ironman. But impressive rides from both those guys. Moto 1, Hunter Lawrence, really amazing. Moto 2, once again, Chase Sexton, really amazing. I don't know what it's going to take, Scotty, for Hunter to get his first win. But I feel like Ironman, the championship's going to get wrapped up, more than likely, probably at the end of first moto. And maybe Chase just backs it down and lets Hunter have one. Well, I don't want to say lets him have one, just Chase is right there. Hunter's right there.
Yeah, I mean, he has to get second in the first moto because the points gap has stayed the same from Unadilla after Budds Creek. So 2 rounds has stayed at 28 points, I believe. And so he has to do better. He has to at least get second to wrap it up after Moto 1.
Yeah, I'm looking at the points right now. It looks like it's 18?
Yeah.
Yeah, 18 points, something like that.
I thought it's more than that.
I can't do math. I'm 454 to 426. So what is that? That's
29 points?
Well, I can't do math anymore. Anyway,
I got you.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. It's I still think Hunter's going to get the overall. So this
coming weekend.
Yeah, I mean, I guess Chase actually probably does need to win just to be safe. We'll have to see where the end of the moto. I just feel like the overall is going to Hunter this weekend. So that's what I'm going to say. Is I'm already telling you my EVS picks for first place, Hunter Lawrence, but we're still talking about Budds Creek, so let's just go with that. What do you think of the racing? Because it's just kind of just back and forth of first moto Hunter, second moto Chase. Chase did have a couple crashes that maybe cost him the first moto win, but Chase is amazing in that second moto, and I wonder what this is going to look like come SMX when Jet's back.
I think it'll look like Chase in second, Hunter in third.
28 points.
Okay, 28. All right. So you don't think – do you think Chase is riding better than he was when Jet was there? Or do you think it just looks better because Jet's not there?
I think and I said that as a joke a little bit,
yeah.
But I think a lot of it has to do with how that first round goes. If Jet can come in and win the first round, then that
sets a precedent a little bit.
And then because you got to think about it, he's built all his team, but it's just gonna he's gonna set a precedent. I don't know, has Jet been riding yet?
He started riding I think Thursday or Friday.
Okay. Oh, so it's
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, something like that. Last week.
So yeah. Like I said, if he comes in and wins, which he very likely could,
sure,
I think he'll win out the SMX.
I feel like we're Scotty. I feel like we're dealing with a different Chase right now. I think he's elevated his game from earlier in the season and last year.
For sure.
But we, at least I feel like Chase. I didn't mean to butt over you, but I feel like Chase is.
I didn't even faze me.
Yeah. I'm not going to say he's a head case. I'm not going to say
Chase.
Yeah. But I'm going to say he can get mentally frustrated over things. Frustrated? How did he say it?
Frustrated?
No R. Frustrated.
Frustrated.
I thought he put an L in there.
I don't think there's an L. I think he just says frustrated. He's
Frustrated.
really frustrated. He said it like 700 times this week.
You said it in our group message.
He's frustrated on there.
Yep.
So we're switching subjects. I make fun of TJ for not being able to spell, but spelling can be difficult. It could be like, you could be like, oh, this letter could be here, that letter could be there, and our English language is a nightmare for spelling, really. But you know how to speak it. You've heard this your entire life. There is no such word as frustrated or frustrated. It's not a word.
He was frustrated, and anyways, we'll see if he gets frustrated again. I said it right that time, right?
Yeah, I was just laughing because Scotty made a look. I didn't know what it was.
I was thinking, like, I hear people say, like, oh, he's fitter. He's fitter. He's more fit.
Yeah, that's another. Yeah, people definitely.
But anyhow,
yes.
the point is.
But at least it's a real word. Fitter. Fitter is probably a real word. Like,
no, it's not.
You don't think it's a job description? Maybe I think fitter
is a pipe fitter.
See, that's a word. Then.
Yeah, so Scotty's wrong.
Yeah, but he doesn't say. I don't know. It's different.
You're right.
You're correct. More fit would be the correct
way to
would
say.
Be yes. More right.
More.
Not writer.
Not writer. Yeah.
I'm a writer.
So what do you? I mean, don't you think? I mean, okay, yes, he's riding good. But
thanks, Race Tech, for this segment.
Hey, we will not know if he is actually better until he has to go against a up to speed Jet.
Yeah, I guess so. I kind of feel like he's the head game thing or whatever, the head case you said a minute ago. I think he's gotten a little better without Jet being there.
Yeah,
he's not making some of the same mistakes. Although he crashed this weekend.
He falls over every race.
Yeah. I don't know why I feel he's different. I do think I think he has stepped up with his speed quite a bit in the last month.
Yeah, and if the top 5 guys were there, we'd be like, I can't believe how fast Kyle Chisholm's going. You know what I mean? Like, top 10 guys were missing, then the 11th place, the guys getting 11th place, we'd think was the fastest guy in the world. We're judging it off of skewed results because, unfortunately, the fastest guy out there is not out there.
Yeah, well, you're right. I guess time will tell. What about his pass on AP? Twice.
God, no.
Was awesome.
AP.
Like, some of his line choices were kind of, I guess, another way where I say, like, he's riding a little better because he was doing things other guys weren't. Even his pass on Hunter on that outside, it's just like his brain seems to be in a little different place right now.
Yeah.
Because of his confidence, I think. He's so confident and seems to be so comfortable that he's just making things happen. Like that inside line going into those rollers on AP, Scotty was awesome, and they did it again, and like AP just didn't even see it coming.
Yeah, I think when I look at this, I'm going to take it to the bigger picture, away from just this past weekend. I think that we needed this as a whole for the sport. Because, like, and Lewis, I'll give Lewis credit for this point. He's like, Chase is the first. This is going to be the first time that Chase has had momentum going up to face Jet, and it's the first time Jet's had to face adversity. And I think it kind of evened the playing field. So I think that it's like for next season, this is really going to set up to be awesome because like Chase needed this run of confidence, being the fastest guy, being able to go from 6 seconds back and catching the leader. I think he needed that. I think KTM needed that. And,
I can see that, yeah.
And so I think that that's going to be like the story that came from all this.
Yeah, I think anything that helps a rider, an athlete build confidence, doesn't matter what it is. If they can find any little thing within their weekend or their event that says, oh, I'm better, I'm the best, etc. There's so much mental stuff, TJ, that even if he's really not, he should be better just from the mental side.
Yeah, and like I said, he is way fast, doing really way good now. I just want to see what do we get when we have both of them healthy, and then that will tell me, hey, well, maybe I'm wrong, but I'm probably not.
Speaking of the 450 as a Hunter Moto 2, the Scoop, why would they let him do that? Like, I feel
I'm so tired of Scoop talk.
like, yeah, it helped with the start, but he was getting good starts anyway.
Why?
And it was going to be bad the rest of the race. He kind of knew that. It wasn't like it was going to give him a 15. Like, if he's getting really bad starts all the time, 15th, 10th, and had to work through the pack, and he said, all right, I'm going to go to the Scoop to get me a better start, that's one thing. But he's been getting pretty good starts anyway.
Maybe he just.
So why hurt yourself for the rest of the race?
Maybe he just wanted an excuse for losing.
Scotty, different opinion than TJ's?
I with the sound check and Scoop talk, I'm over
Sound
it.
check?
That seems to be the two hot button topics this season is the sound testing.
Sound test. Okay.
Sound testing
I
and
thought you were talking about Mathis's music pod that he does, sound check. I was like, what are you talking about?
No, that's not what I was talking about.
Yeah, I don't know why they would let him do that, though. I feel like maybe that's a spot where Lars goes, nah, not this time, man. No.
Well, weren't they like scared of, because last time they missed, like they like overcompensated from the last time they missed it?
Maybe. I don't know. I think him and...
Like last time
right.
it was something like they should have put it on and they didn't. So now this time...
Yeah, but this track conditions were clearly not ideal for a Scoop. And I think he and... I can't remember, somebody else had a Scoop. I don't remember who it was. It wasn't Phil, but somebody else ran a Scoop. There was two people. That was it. Like, it was a poor choice.
Phil was one of the ones they said on TV.
That he did run the Scoop?
That he did run the Scoop.
Okay.
If you're asking for my opinion is spec tire.
For everybody?
Yep. Or at least like Formula One, you can choose hard, soft, medium, whatever.
Yeah. People have said that, but...
I just say...
Like there's 5. These are 5 choices that you can get.
All they have to do
only one brand? So does that mean the other brands are out?
I don't know.
Well, that's
It'd
what
be a
they
bidding
do
war.
on those series.
I don't work for AMA.
I mean, that screws Pirelli and...
Well, it's what happens with some other series. It's a spec tire. This is the tire this is who sponsors the series.
Yeah.
And this is whose tires we run.
I don't like it.
It would probably. I mean, everybody's riding. 90% of them are riding Dunlops, anyways.
Yeah, but I mean, but Pirelli is a sponsor of some of the teams, so that brings money into those teams. They're
the sponsor of F1, so they're good. They're the sponsor.
But I'm talking about the teams. The teams themselves need that money coming in.
If they did a spec
and
tire,
Maxxis helps a couple teams, and those teams need that money.
X-Brand, Alpine Stars puts their logo on X-Brand goggles.
Okay, so you want
Fair
Pirelli?
Fair enough.
I'm confused.
No, I understand what you're saying.
I don't.
But he's just
Pro Dunlop sticker on a Pirelli.
Team A is sponsored by Maxxis, and they get whatever. Let's say $100,000 a year to help them go racing. Oh well, sorry, you're not allowed to have that anymore.
Yeah,
they're out that money. Does Team A?
I don't agree with
go
him.
away.
Yes, that's what would happen. I don't agree with him on a spec tire. I'm just saying that's what other series do.
Yes,
they say
big series like that. Sure.
Yeah, but I don't have a problem with it. I just think all they have to do is just quit ripping the starts, 10 foot deep.
Yeah, but then I heard them talking about that with Phil. Then now you're going 70 miles an hour into a corner.
Shorten the starts.
Well, then they're gonna have people cutting each other off. I mean, yeah,
no. I'm just saying, like,
it's a rabbit hole for sure.
I mean, there's positive negatives to everything.
I mean, there's ways to get it done, and going faster in the corner means that some guys are going to carry more speed, and some guys tuck to the inside. Yeah. But anyways,
Yamaha Motor USA, highs and lows. A reputation for dominance. It does not happen overnight. It's built over decades. The YZ story is 50 years of iconic machines and groundbreaking innovations. Yamaha's new 50th anniversary edition YZs pay tribute to a half-century of championship-winning performance wrapped in stunning retro style. So you can check them out at YamahaMotorsports.com, or you can go to your local dealership. I actually just did a podcast last night with Travis Preston for Industry Insights on Vital MX. That'll be up this Friday. We went through his career and then testing for Yamaha. And at the end, we did about 15, 20 minutes with Vinny, Steven Vincent. He is Yamaha's engineer from the United States. He rides. He helps develop the bike. So at the end of this week's Industry Insights, there's about 15 minutes on the new 25 Yamaha and going through some of the engineering decisions that they're really proud of and reasons they made some of the decisions they did for this model. So if you like that kind of stuff, pretty cool little thing at the end of it'll be up Friday on Vital MX. Check out YamahaMotorsports.com. We thank Yamaha Motor USA for being a part of the show. Yamaha Motors USA, highs and lows. I want to do Vince Pales from T-Bolt USA first. Highs. Hayden winning the AMA 250 MX Championship. He is definitely the top rider on a 250, 100%. Chase takes another overall. Hopefully he keeps it together and takes this title next Saturday. Clearly the best rider on the track right now. Hunter still getting good starts and winning first motos. Getting to ride, training MX the last Wednesdays and Sundays in the afternoon. Riding bicycle with my granddaughter Saturday. She is 3.5 and starting to get it somewhat. That's all his highs, his lows. Not attending Budds Creek. And 2, sorry, man. I listen to the MotoXpod show every week, and I still never get a straight answer on what the T-Bolt USA top 5 is going to be. So I guess we need to do a better job. It's bullies this week. Next week, it was top 5. Damn it, I wrote it down. I don't even remember. Top 5 goals in life. Our top 5 goals in life. Not just riding, just life goals. So there you go, Vince.
Goals in life.
Goals. Okay? Do you guys know what it is? Everybody knows? We're good?
I think it's. I think I missed it. What was it?
Goals in life. Tonight is top 5 bullies.
Yeah.
So that would be Steve Mathis, TJ Smith, Sky Thompson.
Oh my! I'm the bully.
See, he's interrupting me.
He's so rude.
Stop bullying me.
Oh my God.
Tim, what's the guy that wants the socks? Tim, Bob, Jimmy.
What? Table Jam?
I'm just joking.
Jam. Tim, Bob, Jimmy.
All the man wants is the socks that you promised him.
Tim, Bob, Jimmy.
He lives on the other side of the planet.
Hey,
You gotta.
know what? I'm sorry.
If you want to live without righting your wrongs, then that's your burden you're gonna have to bear.
He's gonna have to be getting a 12-step program sooner or later, and he's gonna have to ship out these socks, and shipping's gonna be more expensive then.
My Yamaha Motor USA highs and lows are highs. The 350, starting to figure it out.
Yeah.
Made some suspension changes. Starting to have a lot of fun on that bike. Really looking forward to riding it more. Hopefully at Swan this weekend or somewhere that's prepped. Jalik Swoll is one of my highs. 6'4" for 5th overall. So close to another podium. Just getting there. And then just the MXGP this weekend was a high. Lows, Budds Creek track prep in general. Just got
It rained. What are they going to do?
Super one line. It's always a complaint. It's up there on par with Washougal for racing.
The fact that it wasn't a mutter be grateful.
Track sucked. You'll have your time in a minute, bully.
God, it's so rude.
Also a low, Dean Wilson going 39-21 for 24th. The battle with him and Chiz for SMX domination just fell apart. Just went away. Didn't happen. Poor poor Dino. Those are my highs and lows. TJ, you got any?
Yep. I'll start with my high first. I made some changes to my bike. I actually cut and reformed some plastics, and I absolutely love it, and I'm super excited about it. I know it sounds dumb to other people, but my low is, I'll say what it is, but it's not why you think.
Okay.
My low is that Hayden won the championship this weekend. But
you were gonna get us raided with bed bugs.
But it's not because I really don't care if he wins. It's just the racing so far towards the end of the season has been kind of boring, and now the 250 stuff really doesn't matter. His goal now is going to be do the best I can, but be healthy for SMX, which makes total sense. So
It's one more round.
I'm just saying, we don't get to watch these next 2 motos. There's not going to be a battle to the end.
There's no battle for the championship.
Yeah,
but
that's
there's
what I'm
still
saying.
some good battles hopefully going on. And Iron Man's always got good racing. So.
Well, and then the battle for second
But-
pretty close.
Yeah. I don't
Who
have.
cares?
What are yours?
My highs were just a fun weekend. I got to play golf, ride, go on a nice dinner with the fiance, and just had a good weekend. There was racing on multiple kinds, and just an overall high of a weekend. Lows were, man, I try not to think negative. I don't ever think. I really struggle to think of lows because
Wow.
it's just like
Way to be a team player.
it was really hot when I rode.
That it was.
The temperature was not low. That's one of my lows.
And it was a high, but one high for you was the price of the track you rode.
Yeah, with my low is how high the temperature was and high the price of where I rode was. Yeah.
Yeah, I rode for free, but it was super hot and super dry, so that wasn't ideal. But
There he goes again. I rode for free. He got.
you ride for free when you
earlier when he opened his Alpine Star goggles. 1 in 200.
You're full of shit on that one.
Oh, it's no big deal. It's just 1 out of 200.
Literally just reading the sticker on
Yeah,
there.
Big
just-
deal.
Yeah, 1 out of 200.
I'm just gonna wear them because I could be special enough to wear like a special
Yeah.
edition goggle.
I love gold.
You guys are idiots. What'd you think, TJ, Eli Tomac's return? 411 for 7th?
Exactly about what I said. Remember
No, I don't. I don't
Yeah.
listen to you.
What did you say?
that he's gonna be out. Of the
I
top
said
5.
411. 411 for 7th.
So,
I said
okay,
he's gonna be out of
actually,
top 5.
that was one of the things that I thought of there when you asked what we wanted to talk about in the opening segments. Which one shows where Tomac is really at, the 4th or the 11th?
Well, I think in between.
Okay, well, that's fair.
I think in between. The 4th, he got a decent start and was up there, and
The 11th was like,
but he didn't have a whole lot. Halfway through the race, he was just kind of stuck there. And then the 11th, same thing. Once he got going, he was just sort of stuck there. But some of that, I feel like we'll be able to tell more after Ironman because really every rider almost said the passing was almost impossible. I mean, for Eli Tomac to be stuck behind Phil Nicoletti for that long, nothing against Phil, but he's certainly not the level of an Eli Tomac. So it shows that, yes, Eli's conditioning isn't quite where it needs to be. Shows how difficult the track was to really race on. And maybe Eli was just like, all right, this is really all I've got. I'm not really going to push too hard right now. He's just building back in. So for that weekend, I would say kind of in between there. It just shows that, yeah, he's just kind of trying to find his way right now.
Yeah.
is it rude to
Yes.
AP to not just go ahead and pick him for the team? I mean, to hold off for.
We're gonna talk MXDN
Okay.
in a minute for one of our segments coming up.
Awesome.
So we'll get into that. We'll have more time for that. But all right. So 411 for 7th. How much improvement do we see in 1 week coming in with Ironman, TJ?
He'll be top 5 both motos.
Okay, both motos. Scotty?
Have to wait till our EVS Podium Picks.
Okay, all right. Well, he's not in my top 3 as of
I picked him this week.
So I'm going to say, yeah, I think he improves. I think 4 or 5 is where we see him both motos coming up. Pulp Ride Day coming up. We got about 7 minutes before we get Cameron Durow on. So Pulp Ride Day, we're leaving next Friday. Anything either of you really excited about with this? TJ, I know TJ's coming. Okay,
Yeah.
but whatever. I mean, I'm
Taking
excited.
his
It's just
stuff and
a
then
fun weekend, dude.
Yeah.
We get to go ride for a couple days at a cool track with cool people that aren't.
Yeah.
It's not our normal group. I'm just excited to hang out.
Yeah, I think it's just going to be a fun trip, something to do.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Well, I would think the most exciting part of it for me is there's obviously getting to meet a lot of these guys we spoke to on the show, but actually getting to meet them face to face will be cool. Hanging out with guys like Kennard, and that's just going to be cool. But overall, I've never had a moto trip like this. Like the furthest I've ever gone to ride is 4 hours away. So for me, it's exciting to be especially with a lot of my good friends getting into I was talking about
you got friends going?
I was talking about Chase and Spencer, not you two.
I say Spencer's going.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Okay. I was I didn't know there was other guys going from our area.
Yeah, no, there is. Yeah, it shows how much you pay attention.
No,
But,
I knew they were.
Yeah. Anyways, I'll continue what I was talking about. And just the fact that I'm getting to go do something unique like that's what I'm most excited about.
TJ, anything exciting for you?
Riding
Or are you just gonna be a Debbie Downer?
riding a national track I figured I would be more excited about that, but that's to me that's not really what I'm excited about. Even though that's going to be really cool.
Yeah.
Just kind of middle of the road. It's going to be fun.
TJ's a 5.
I haven't done the trip, so we'll find out. The breakdown that happens halfway there, that'll be the fun part.
I think
I'm gonna hate
that's
you.
what Chase said.
I'm gonna hate you if the thing breaks down.
Chase said is the funnest part is going to be all the banter and crap talk that was going on the RV ride up there.
That's my. I don't want to do the drive. I'm like, I so don't want to do this.
Just go sleep in the back.
13-hour ride.
Just go in the back and sleep.
RV. With you four.
Yeah.
Well, you can be in the trailer. I'll put a cot in the trailer.
Wait, is Doc coming?
No.
No. Okay.
Well, I don't know. I haven't had to talk to him. But
Oh, so it could be 6 of us in.
Chase said something about it.
I haven't invited him.
That's gonna find out.
Doc's out. He's gonna make us look bad because he's faster than us.
He's gonna be riding a
He's not
Suzuki.
fast, but he's faster than us.
He's going to be on
Do
Suzuki
you
next
think
year.
that everybody there is like? Do you think there'll be like goons, or you think everybody there is going to be like?
No, of course there'll be
Be a
goons. There's just
mix.
regular guys like us showed
It's
up.
just
We're
a mix.
goons.
It'll be a mix.
Mix, yeah.
Yeah, there'll be guys there that barely. I mean, last year at Millville, there was guys that barely rode, just regular, just like the guys that show up your local track.
Yeah.
I think I'm looking forward to getting out of the heat of Texas.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it's supposed to be
hanging
in like
out.
in the 50s at
I
night.
genuinely don't think that I'm like excited about the riding part as much as I am
Don't
hanging out.
act like you're not going to be grinning from ear to ear,
TD doesn't-
showing off your electric bike.
Oh yeah, that's
gonna be
true.
So
That's true.
It's gonna, look at this, look at my electric bike. I don't, the elevation doesn't phase me here.
it's gonna be like Kiefer.
Hey, Kiefer, yeah, Kiefer,
I'm not
come
putting my
check
kid
it.
on that.
Yeah, come ride my bike. Yeah.
I don't understand
Shorty,
that.
maybe Shorty will ride it again. He's already rode it once.
Yeah.
Okay, before we move on, one more topic.
Maybe I am a bully.
We don't, huh?
Maybe I am a bully.
You are. You want to touch on the Chris Cooksey thing?
I did.
We've got a few minutes, so yeah, knock it out.
So this last week, Chris Cooksey, he calls himself media.
Cooksey,
so,
well, I mean, he does. Yeah,
and
he's
he
media.
owns Cooksey Media. Got kicked out of the race because the promoters of the series and him don't get along, which I genuinely don't. I mean, I don't listen to his stuff very, like some of the things I'll come across and I'll watch, and this thing popped up in my feed, which made me go watch the video because, and I think that they mishandled this. You have somebody like that, whether you like him or not. And I've met Chris a couple times before everybody hated him. He's a super nice guy to talk to and hang out with, you know what I mean? But so I have nothing. So hopefully nobody takes this negative because it is not meant for me to say anything negative about him. But I think the AMA should have just been like, just leave him alone because they're bringing.
It's not the AMA though.
Or no, okay, MX Sports should just leave him alone. Like let him do his thing, and he doesn't get in the media tent, which is fine because that's they control that or whatever. He doesn't get media passes, that's fine, whatever. But him and his buddy, who his buddy wasn't him. You know what I mean? They both got kicked out. They both had VIP passes. However they got those, I mean, they were legitly theirs. They didn't steal them. And all they're doing is bringing, like we're talking about it now.
Yeah.
They're just bringing more light to his stuff. And I think it's wrong. I mean, and there's no chance that all the stuff that he says is lies.
I
there's
don't
a
think
truth
it's
to
all
it.
lies. I think there's some truth to some of
lot.
the things. But here's the thing. If you run an event and somebody is saying all these things that you don't appreciate about your family, your wife, your sister, or whatever, and they're saying enough awful things that you finally go, look, I don't like this dude. I don't want him on my property or at my event. You have that right. It's a private event. They have that right, and that's what it comes down to. Whether you agree with it or not, it's like it's their choice. And yeah, maybe it would have benefited them to let him stay there because, like, well, they don't really care. They're just whatever.
Yeah.
But they still had the right. So that's the thing.
They have okay. So he's not going around going, hey,
he's not helping himself with some of the things he says.
Fair enough, but he's not going around calling like people's mama's a whore and all that kind of stuff. He's coming out with what he believes is the truth by the information he has or things that he's found and looked up or however, and they don't like it. And so
Yeah, that's true.
And like I said, I think they actually probably I watched that video that he posted up, and I think if I remember, I can't remember the exact number, so I don't want to speak out of school, but his numbers jumped, like his subscribership jumped substantially from this. They're shooting themselves in the foot, but it doesn't surprise me that the people in charge of our sport are constantly making bad decisions and shooting themselves in the foot. I'm never going to get media passes, but whatever. So.
I mean, it's a matter of an opinion, man, but they had the right to do it. But our first guest of the night is on the line. Tonight, he's going to be brought to you by ProX, which is rooted in racing from motocross to off-road and supporting teams such as Ampro Yamaha, Pro Circuit Kawasaki, and SLR Honda. They have been supplying quality components for almost 50 years. From complex jobs like engine rebuilds to simple maintenance, including filters, chains, and sprockets, ProX aims to bridge the gap between OE quality and affordability. You can find ProX at your local dealer or visit prox-usa.com and search for parts for your bike. Tonight, ProX brings us the 6-time South African national champion, Cameron Durow. What's up, Cameron?
Hello, how are you guys doing?
Doing great, man. Glad to talk to you again. I talked to you recently for an article I'm working on for Vital, and I thought, man, your story is really interesting. I'd like to get you on the show so some of our listeners can get to know you a little bit and follow you more as you go through. I mean, I know nationals are almost over, but you know, you're racing in South Africa still. I'm sure you'll be back for nationals next year. So yeah, I just want to get a chance to get to know you a little bit.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity on the show. And yeah, excited to share my story with everyone.
Yeah. So let's share like your background, where you grew up in South Africa and what your background in motocross is.
So I grew up in Pietermaritzburg, South Africa. It's near Durban. Sure, a lot of the world champs came from that area. So guys will know from I think Langston was from my area. But long before when I was there, I started riding at 4 years old. Raced overseas a little bit when I was 13, 14, and 85s. I raced in Germany. And then, just been racing in South Africa with a few international events now and then. Then last year, I decided to come to the last 3 Pro Motocross Nationals. And then this year, we've decided, to do all of them to try get my name out there and see what we can do for next year.
And yeah, we'll get into that process. Cannot be easy. Like currently, I believe you're last year's national champion in South Africa, correct?
Yes, I won MX1 and MX2 last year in South Africa.
So both classes, you're a Red Bull factory KTM rider in South Africa, and then when you come to the United States, I'm sure it's a very different program. You don't have factory support. You probably don't have anywhere near the support you have over there.
So our factory is not factory like it is here. We just get manufacturer support and stuff. We still pretty much ride stock bikes and stuff in our championship with our own engine work, but nothing to the level you guys do here. But coming over here, the level's insane. And just trying to do it on our own is also quite insane. Sometimes in the field, we don't know how we got it done.
Yeah. How do you manage to afford to come race in the United States? Like you told me when we talked the other day that because of visa issues, you're on a tourist visa, not a sports visa yet, that you don't even get to win or take home the prize money. You're basically racing on contingencies. So how do you manage to come to the United States and race and afford to do it?
So I'm really lucky. My dad supports me in my racing. Also with racing for KTM at home, they cover all my training and racing costs back home. So a lot of the money that I would have used there, we can put into racing here. And then, I've just been saving up winning championship bonuses for the last 2-3 years so that I could buy the camper. My dad and I went 50-50 on a camper this year. And then, it's mainly funded by him. So really lucky that he supports me.
That's awesome.
Hey, Cameron, we've all been fans of Langston, and that's one of the New Zealand guys we think of, and
Albertine, Rattray,
as well.
Langston?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said New Zealand.
You said New Zealand.
Yeah, South Africa.
South African.
I missed it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's okay.
I apologize.
How rude.
I got the name right.
So sorry.
I got the name right. Anyways,
You got the name right.
we're going to take that as a win. Yeah, I've heard Grant say in the past that he was it was crazy how much more money was spent when he moved out of that area, and everybody was showing up, in their with a little trailer behind their car, and it was a real man's kind of sport, and so I wanted to see your opinion when you came here and saw how much everybody was spending on the sport and how big a production it is, expectations versus reality when you got here.
So I've seen social media and stuff before I got here, but my first proper American event other than Motocross of Nations, I went to Mini O's. And to see the rigs that some of the guys pull in, And then, they like, you think they're complete factory rig and it's just the guy's family and they ride 2 or 3 classes for fun. Some of them, they're not even racing at a high level. And I'm like, that's ridiculous. If we had that kind of budget to race pro motocross, it would be something else.
So when you came over from Minios, you came over as an amateur?
Yeah, I did the Motocross of Nations here in 22, and my dad ended up buying that bike because it was a demo bike. They gave us a really good price. So I had a bike, and a friend that was living in Florida had it with him. So he said, come over for Minios. I did Minios. The following year, I did the Spring Amateur Nationals and the Daytona Amateur Supercross.
Yeah.
And then I ended up selling the 450 for 250 and did the last 3 pro motocross last year. And then ended up getting a spare bike this year to do the whole season.
So when you come over here for that, you are just like, you have a job there? Are you training full time there? Like you said, there's no budget. Are you able to make a living off of racing there?
So I'm still studying to work for my dad at the moment, but at the moment we're trying to pursue a career in motocross. So he said he'll support me, and then I am making a salary from KTM. So
gotcha.
It does also help quite a bit.
Is there a big racing scene there? I haven't heard anything about the amateur racing scene. We have some really, really fast guys coming out of there, but you never hear about like the youth coming here from South Africa.
No, our racing scene is not what it used to be. Our junior classes are starting to grow again, like 20 or 30 riders at a national, which for us is quite a lot, but our premier classes at the moment, the numbers have dropped. A lot of the older good guys have started to retire, and then a lot of the juniors coming up have either gone overseas or they stop by the time they get to MX2. So at the moment, our premier classes our numbers are down, but the juniors, like our 1 to 5 class at the moment, is quite big. I think 30, sometimes 30 plus riders. So hopefully a bunch of those guys move up and start doing well in the MX2 class.
Gotcha.
Yeah, from the research I've doing for this article, I talked to Rattray, or I talked to Swanepoel, Caleb Tennant, Grant Langston, talked to those guys and talked to some of the guys that are racing now. And yeah, the sport, very popular in the 80s, the 90s. Albertine, went to the GPs and came here and won a title, kept getting popular. GL and Rattray came over here and was successful. So, but they kind of those guys were kind of saying, like, once they left, there wasn't really anybody for the younger guys to chase racing in South Africa because all the fast guys were leaving, and the sport the economy changed. Some of the title sponsors pulled out, and then, so it's kind of been up and down South Africa, but with guys like Calvin Verlanderen doing really well. He's from South Africa, even though he's claiming Dutch now because he has dual citizenship. And then, why am I blanking on the other guy? McClellan, yes. They're very successful right now, and I feel like that should bring hopefully start bringing some kids out of the younger kids again. Oh, wow, look, these guys from South Africa are being successful. Maybe I can do it too, and that will hopefully build up the South African motocross scene, and it can come back around again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we are trying in South Africa. I think our economy does play a big role in it.
Mm-hmm.
And just the earnings compared to what you guys earn here. So we can race in South Africa, but like most guys don't have the access to leave and go race overseas at all because of our exchange rates and everything. So there's a couple of us that are racing overseas at the moment, but most of us are either privately sponsored or supported by our parents or a mixture of both.
Yeah, there's at least 5 of you guys racing currently. I think there's 4 in the 250 class and 1 in the 450 class right now. And Cameron is the only one that's actually going back and racing the South African series also. So he's traveling back and forth, plus driving across the country. His girlfriend's, helping him out. But yeah, go ahead, TJ.
Yeah, Cameron, are you? Is your plans to try to get a full-on work visa here or pro or athlete sports visa here to stay here as long as you can, or are you wanting to be able to go back and race your local series and promote the sport?
I mean, I'm racing the local series currently because they're still supporting me and like through the off season and stuff. But ultimately, I would like to be a full-time on a sports visa, riding for a team and earning some money racing. That's the ideal goal. But yeah, I think at the end of this year, I saw what the earnings and stuff were, and it would be worth it for me to get my sports visa. Even to earn from the AMA and stuff, it'll pay off my sports visa, and then I can earn money and get sponsorship and stuff here as well.
Did you? That obviously it's not that as easy as getting just a work visa, I would think.
Yeah, there's a lot of, you have to go through like legal places, and it costs quite a lot. I think it's between $5,000 and $7,000.
Oh wow!
So for us, that's like 100 to 150,000 rand, which is quite a lot of money for us.
Yeah, it's insane that's what it takes to get you over here to be able to participate in sporting events and get paid. I mean, you're out there racing for almost nothing, and that's, I mean, nationals already don't pay enough, and then you're not even getting that.
Yeah, no, it's been gnarly this year. So I'm very fortunate that my dad was able to support me, and then KTM South Africa is able to support me when I'm racing at home.
Yeah, so when you come from a series like where you're kind of dominating, have the full sponsorship and everything, and then you come to a more competitive series and having like now you're fighting just as hard as you were for a first or second and for a mid pack. Like, how was that mentally making that focus? Does it make you hungrier? Like, how was that adjustment?
It's very humbling, but I do enjoy it, and I'm enjoying the progress and everything. But yeah, it's tough to come from South Africa and then be thrown almost in the deep end here. So yeah, every race I'm learning something new, figuring stuff out along the way, and I feel like my results have been getting better, but yeah, it's still tough to fight in the top 20, top 30 every weekend.
Yeah, and then are you going to be focusing on trying any Supercross, or maybe eventually next year focusing on the SMX? What does that look like?
So at the moment, I don't have a plan for next year. I'm going to try and approach some teams here at the end of the pro season. So basically next week, once I got all my results and stuff in, and then hopefully that, if nothing comes through, I'll probably try and do the same thing, but on a 450 next year, because this year I pretty much rode a stock 250, and it's so difficult to compete.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, hopefully I can try and see if any teams will take the chance on me.
Yeah, even the guys who are in the back of the pack not qualifying in the 250 class have built motors.
Yeah.
TJ knows.
No, I know.
A little bit frustrating, a little demoralizing. We're just like, it's almost impossible to compete.
Yeah, it feels sometimes, and then when you have a good week and you're like, oh, it can, but like Colorado, I struggled the most with the power. And then, yeah, I think this weekend I'm going to race my practice bike. I had an issue with my race bike. I was testing it today. I thought I felt something weird at the end of the motors this weekend. And, yeah, the timing chain jumped and the valves, whatever, went. So, luckily, I made the call to check the bike today.
Yeah, that could have ended badly. Cameron Durow tonight, brought to you by ProX. Did you have something else, Scotty?
I was just going to say, like, don't let that discourage you. People will know that you're on a stock bike, and if you keep getting results like that, somebody's going to give you a pipe or something. I mean, like, just keep working, man. Pipe. I know he does, but just it won't go unnoticed. Is my point.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
So Cameron, talking about hoping to find something or having an offer for next year, how does that work for a guy like you? Because some of these teams, they have buy-in programs where you obviously you pay to ride for the team and you get a little bit of help. What would be ideal for you? Like, what teams are you looking at? What kind of support would you like to see happen?
Ultimately, I'd like something that I don't have to buy in, but even if I don't earn a salary or anything for the first year, where they just can supply bikes or anything like that would make a huge help. And then like the transportation of the bikes around, because you're doing it out the camper where you're the full-time mechanic, driver, everything it takes a toll. This week we can feel it, my girlfriend and I. We're ready to go home and have a bit of a reset again.
Yeah, I bet you guys were ready for the season to be over. That's what I want our listeners to understand is, you and your girlfriend are driving across the country in a camper. You go find a place to practice. You go race, come off the track. You have to make changes to your bike, or, if it needs a new clutch, you're doing that in between motos in this heat. This is full privateer, no mechanic. I guess your girlfriend's probably helping out a little bit with whatever you need.
She's really good at that. But
yeah, it's not ideal for what you're trying to do. And I think I was so impressed when I talked to you, just because you're here for the love of it, really, more than anything. I mean, there's no guarantee that you're going to get a salary or anything next year. You love to do this and you want to try to make a name for yourself. And dude, I dig it.
Yeah, I have the opportunity and I can't let it go to waste.
Yeah.
I'd rather be doing it the hard way than not doing it at all.
I like that. I like that a lot. Scotty, you got anything?
Yeah. What was the biggest change in tracks? Like, is it, have you rode in a lot of deep conditions? There's a lot of weather this year, and some of the national rounds where it makes the track a little different than what was expected. How was that adjustment?
So mainly a lot of your hard pack tracks are quite similar to South Africa, especially my home track gets some deep ruts. So like Ironman, I really enjoy, is similar. Washugo is similar, but I've been struggling more on like the clay base with the sand top, like the Millville and like Budds Creek. We don't really have many tracks like that. I've ridden in the Netherlands a lot, so like the deep sand I didn't mind of Southwick, but those other ones are like in between. Like you try and set it up for sand, but then it's like a clay base.
Yeah.
So those are the tracks I've struggled with the most.
What did you think of Southwick, our sand track, compared to a Lommel or one of the other real sand tracks that you've ridden in your time?
I mean, they just as gnarly, but completely different. Like I raced Lommel on 125s in the EMX, and Lommel is ridiculously deep and like huge rollers, where I guess Southwick wasn't as deep. It had like sharp edges, but still sandy. And it was quite wet this year, but apparently everyone says it's so different every year. So it was still wet and like grabbed you like sand, but then had like that hard base and square edges. So it was confusing to ride it.
Yeah, a lot of adjustments. What has been the biggest difficulty outside of racing from being in the United States, whether it be travel,
food?
What?
Other than the racing, we had a few issues with our camper. After round 2, our fuel pump went and we had to drive back to California on a broken fuel pump. It took us like 13 hours to do a 5-hour drive. And then we've had an issue with our fuel sensor, so that keeps going. Then after Washugal, my girlfriend dropped me at the airport. She drove to Tennessee, and as she was driving in there, another issue showed up because we got a scanner for the engine. And then like the mechanic took the piss and waited a whole week to fix it. We had to go sit in their office because else we weren't going to make it to Unadilla.
Jeez. Yeah. We have a mobile mechanic in studio with us, TJ.
Yeah.
I mean, he's in Texas, but if you're ever in the area of Texas and you need help, our guy TJ here, he can hook you up.
Be happy. You can come and get a crash at the house. I got a full shot. But Texas is a long way, but
you know what?
Thanks. I'm going to need the number for next season.
I just thought of this. Privateerlife.com.
Oh yeah.
Is a website that we used to talk to the guy a lot about, and their website is set up for guys like you that when you're traveling, you can put your information in there, and if you're in Tennessee and you break down, or you need a place to stay, or you need a place to ride, the people that subscribe to that website, like just regular people, can say, "Hey, I have a place they can stay," or "I have a track they can ride at," or you can just kind of put in there what you need, and people will help you out across the country. I'll send you a link to that.
Yeah,
please.
My son races.
Go
ahead. I'm sorry.
I was saying, luckily, when we were in Tennessee, a friend had offered for us to stay there. It was supposed to be like a 2 or 3 day stay. It ended up being the whole week. He was South African. He lives in America now. So luckily we're at his house. But if it had been somewhere else, it would have been a big mess up.
Yeah, my son races Supercross. He is the privateer gets, and he has used that quite a few times. And it's sometimes as simple as, hey, that you can go in there and somebody will have like, I have a pressure washer that you can bring your bike here and wash it, or and all kinds of stuff like, or RV spot to plug in for the night for free, that kind of stuff. So the industry,
That's awesome,
the industry we have in America is big and people want to help.
Yeah, I'll send you a link to
Yeah,
that.
I'm learning.
Oh, go ahead.
I was saying I'm learning new things, like make friends along the way, and they tell you where to ride. Like the track I'm at today, I rode last year, but all the new rounds I had to find tracks. There was an app I managed to download, but then half the tracks on the app have been permanently closed. So
Yeah.
Right.
that's also quite a big challenge. So that website will make a big difference.
Yeah, Cameron, it's so enlightening when we get to talk to guys that have a different outlet to do this sport, like to put things in perspective. Like, you know, he said he's flying back and forth to do his home series. He's going through different seasons because it's in a different hemisphere. So he's going from winter to summer to do all these things for a sport that he loves. And then we're over here, we're talking about like, oh, should I run a scoop tire? Should I run this? And Cameron's like, I wish I had that option. You know, like it's not really a question here, Cameron. It's just, I appreciate you pursuing your love for your sport. And it's just really cool to have you guys like you show us the real perspective of what it takes to do this.
Yeah, thanks. It is gnarly to travel backwards and forwards, but yeah, when I signed my contract at home at the beginning of the year, I said I want to do both, and luckily the team manager said that's okay, and then we've just been full steam ahead. I think when I get home, I fly back now. Next weekend is our round 5, but then there's a few weeks off before Nations, so I'll have a bit of time to rest before the next race. I think I've raced almost every weekend since the start of Pro Motocross because I've been racing in the breaks back home.
So does racing in America actually give you an advantage when you go either home or anywhere when you travel? Do you see an advantage of being here?
Yeah, definitely. My level is definitely elevated. And to take it home and the other guys to try and catch back up to me will make a difference, I think, in the long term for our sport, which is why I don't mind going back home and racing while I have the opportunity. So, but yeah, it definitely elevates me, and just being overseas, like I think I'll see the difference at Nations this year versus just trying to come from South Africa and do a motocross of Nations. After having a whole pro motocross season of experience and then doing a Nations will make a huge difference.
Yeah, I was going to bring MXDN up. You've been on the team the last 2 years, is that right?
Yeah, I did France and Redbud, and then I'll be on the team again this year.
Yeah, and the South African team has been steadily over the last 4 or 5 years. Their results have gotten better every year, which we talked about the state of South African moto, and it's not as strong as it once was, but the results are getting better from the riders, and I would think that would bring some pride again to the local scene, and it's just pretty impressive. And I don't know who else is on the team this year.
So it's McClellan, the 250 rider, he's
Camden.
the factory triumph rider in Europe, and then Tristan Purden, he's racing the MX1 class. He's been doing the last 2 AMAs, and then he races for a British team.
Okay. Yeah.
So our results have gotten better at Nations over the past few years, but it's mainly because all the talent in South Africa is trying to race overseas so that we can elevate ourselves.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think last year you guys went 13 and 22. You were 18th, and I think the years before were in the 20. So yeah, steadily improving. Really impressive. Do you guys have anything else for him?
No, I think I'm okay.
Well, Cameron, it's been really cool getting to know you again, and I appreciate you helping me out on that story. That I'm still working on it, but it'll be being posted pretty soon. I'll send you a link. But yeah,
I'm excited to read it.
Yeah, I can't wait to get it done. I'll make sure I get it to you. And yeah, it's really for our listeners, all you got to do is go through the results, and you can see the different countries. There's 4, 5, 6 different countries where riders are coming over here. And South Africa has, like I said, 4 or 5 guys that are basically almost full privateer. Check them out. Support them. If you're at a local race, go by, say hi. We need these guys here and want to see them succeed. But Cameron, it's been really exciting getting to know you a little bit, and we wish just continued improvements for you.
Thanks. I appreciate you guys having me on and letting me share my story with everyone on your platform.
Absolutely. Good luck this weekend, Ironman, and we'll talk to you real soon.
Thank you.
All right,
Cheers.
Kevin. Cheers.
Bye.
Dude, that's fun, man. I like having these international riders on. And guys that nobody really knows about. I hope some of our listeners go find him on Instagram. It's Cameron Durow, CameronDurow. Pull him up. He's tagged on the MotoXpod show Instagram and my personal Instagram. So go follow him, man. Enjoy his journey. These guys, I mean, it's like you said, as privateer as privateer gets.
Well, yeah, and then just the perspective of what he has to go through, it's nuts. Like it's enlightening to be able to see different stories like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure TJ can't stand him. Like, oh, stupid. Who cares?
That was a really good interview, I thought.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I was asking a lot of great questions.
When?
Apple doesn't fall far.
I don't know what that meant in this situation.
Normally that means something about, but like he's not my dad.
What, your dad?
The apple doesn't fall far from the tree means that
that's
the father
I know.
likes
you're
it.
like
Anyways,
your dad.
let's not go there.
So,
But hey, man, New Zealand.
New Zealand.
Yeah, I can't. Apple doesn't fall far on that one either.
Nope. I guess you're talking about Ben Townley, maybe?
No, that's not what I mean.
He doesn't know what he's talking about. He realizes he said something dumb and he's just...
No, it's not. It was, you were talking about, I was making fun of you not asking many questions.
Who, me?
No, him.
I ask questions.
Yeah, just move on.
Mine just weren't
Why does everything feel so awkward right now?
like, why?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Because you won't move on?
Because his face.
Let's keep going with it. Why do you think he was from New Zealand? Is it because you thought
Because usually when we have Doc in here, he doesn't ask very many questions, and I thought that's what you were saying. My questions were great, saying that you didn't ask.
What does that
many
have to do
questions.
with him saying he was from New
It
Zealand?
had nothing to do with that.
But that's what I want to focus on.
I just
I just said the wrong thing.
Well, that's not much fun.
That's not much fun at all.
Yeah, I mean that's not what you're trying to put two stories that weren't together.
No, I'm just trying to make fun of you for saying he's from New Zealand because I screw up all the time
I
too.
screwed up on that one. Yeah.
Okay.
For some reason, at the beginning of this right here,
Yeah.
I thought you were the one that said New Zealand.
Me?
Yeah.
What if I did?
Yeah.
I think you did.
Really?
Maybe that's where I got from.
I think you did.
We have to go back. I'm
You know,
going to
and
investigate
play-
that.
Like in the intro, you mean?
Yeah. I thought you did.
Wow.
But that's why I was like,
You know what? Thank you, TJ. You might be right. It's probably where I got it from.
And then I was like-
well, blame Dark.
well, wait. But he's South African.
That's
Like,
a 6-time South African champion, I think. Oh man, now I'm
I think you said New Zealand now that
Now
I'm
we need
thinking
to move
about
on.
it. Yeah.
I could actually
Now we need to move on.
listeners. No, they'll fuck me.
yes, they will.
They'll do me
Yeah.
dirty.
Watch your language, sir.
Oh yeah, they'll do me dirty. All right, we're gonna move on to the X Brand forum check-in. 2 options. Okay.
Uh-oh.
So, actually, we're going to go with this one probably. Tomac or Plessinger. The other option
For
is
DN?
the other option is Mathis versus Lewis.
Oh, I want Mathis
How
for
about
losers.
Mathis Lewis?
All right, we'll start with that, but we'll do the other one too because I want to talk about MXD in a little bit. Let's see, how much time do we have before we got to
What
get
are we?
Marshall
What,
on?
what,
17
are they
minutes?
versing? What are we versing here?
Well, all right, let's start with that.
I'm interested.
Mathis versus Lewis. Posted by 971_fan on Vital MX forum. Don't forget, go to vitalmx.com and sign up for the fantasy game. There is a MotoXpod Show League. You can also contact the show by our email, motoxpodshow@gmail.com for any input, any segments you want to get involved with. But this forum post says, I like both these guys. Pulp MX is my go-to podcast at work, and Lewis is a breath of fresh air with his interviews. But let's line these two up and see what they got. This got brought up on our Vital MX post-race interviews when Chase Sexton was talking to Lewis. It got brought up about them. Chase wants them to race or something, like do a battle, basically. Yeah. And then this guy's posting on it. I don't know. I didn't read any of the other comments, but I don't feel like a couple years ago there was a battle, the Glen Helen Vet Nationals battle with me and Steve where he kicked my butt. But it's not really a fair contest with those guys because Lewis hasn't rode since he was a kid.
Yeah, but Lewis
And
supposedly
Steve's
rode pretty good when he was a kid, right?
He says he was okay.
Yeah.
But he wasn't he didn't go pro.
No, if it's been
I'm
20
with you.
years, then
No,
I mean,
I'm with you as far as but
So I don't think there's really any story there, right? There's nothing exciting.
I thought they were saying like versus like them as far as their media goes.
Well,
Yes, that's
they
what I
definitely have a media battle.
Read it again, because I think you're misinterpreting it.
No, I'm definitely not, because that was what they talked about in the art. He's referencing the interview with Chase.
But
I like both these guys, but let's line these two up and see what they got.
yeah, okay.
Oh, okay. Well,
Well,
yeah.
as far as media goes, I did have some thoughts on that since we can just divert.
Yeah, let's change the subject. Sure, why
I
not?
think that if it's this,
There's nothing there to the racing. Lewis just responded. Let's see. Call me if you want to discuss the race. Yeah, we could do that.
we can call him. Well, I'll say this while he's getting him on the phone. I think that if like a single person like doing interviews or like if a single person was doing a podcast, I think Lewis would be better. But I think that Mathis has more relationships in the industry.
Lewis Phillips, how are you tonight?
Hello, how's it going?
We're going good. Good to hear your voice back on the MotoXpod show. It's been a very long time.
Yeah, I guess now you know I'm a closet listener.
Oh, we knew.
So yeah, give us the backstory on this this battle between you and Mathis.
Well, my close personal best friend, Chase Sexton. Are you aware of him?
Yes.
I've heard of him once or twice.
Once or twice. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, obviously I don't know if you've heard of him, but it's my
Does he have a ship or a boat or something?
So,
He frequents the waters from time to time.
Okay.
No, he brought it up in his interview. And the idea that he had of us doing it at Baker's factory, I potentially wouldn't be opposed to, but I would need, I think, 2 months to kind of figure out my life.
Okay.
Not how to ride, but how to figure out your life.
Well, yeah, plus riding. I'll figure out my life and I'll probably ride at the same time. Yeah, I'd need to, because it's been a long time since I rode, so I imagine the first time I ride there would be a lot of clutch action, a lot of revs maybe. Yeah, probably wouldn't be a pretty sight. So I think I would need some prep in order to get close to Steve.
Yeah.
But hey, if Chase wants it, then hey, that's all I've got to say, isn't it? If Chase wants it.
So, but like legitimately, if this was something that could get put together, you would consider it?
Oh, I don't know. I know that I would feel like I have no choice.
Okay. Because, yeah, you've said before, like, you don't, because Kiefer and a bunch of guys been like, we got to get Lewis riding. We want to get Lewis riding. You're kind of like, you don't want to go out because there's going to be expectations, you feel like, because of fans and people that pay attention to what you do, and that people are going to want to see you do well, or maybe some will want to see you fail, and that's pressure.
Well, I discussed this with family because they listened to the interview, and I said, "Do you think I would have Steve?" And they were like, "If you can get back into riding and like figure it out a little bit, then you'd probably be around Steve."
Okay.
So, and to be honest with you, the idea of actually having something to prepare for does excite me because I don't do well when I'm just not really got a goal in life.
Yeah.
So, like, if I could train like Rocky for this,
You come to Texas.
that would really motivate me.
You come to Texas where it's 101
You don't
degrees.
need to come here. He's in Florida now.
But
Yeah.
I must say, and I regret not bringing this up in the interview, one of the terms of me signing up for this would be that Chase has to be exclusively on my side and, all that entails.
What if
Some pre-race phone calls maybe, some deep dives into my mental side, because he's very concerned about my mental side.
What if it was winner gets Chase?
I couldn't take that risk, Jamie. I'm no fool.
Winner,
And that was although that may unlock a level that I've never seen before.
yeah, you twist it wide open at the very least.
how awesome would it be if Lewis did race Steve and he tucked the front end?
Jeez.
Well, you just got blacklisted.
Oh.
I like the idea
Yeah.
of us doing this race, and because Chase is on my side, we're sat behind the gate, and Chase pats me on the back and says, "Go get him."
So Chase would be your
Can
coach.
you imagine the adrenaline running through my body as Chase says to me, "Go get him"?
That'd be awesome.
I'm gonna go get him at that point. Yes, sir.
So
You request, I answer.
Yes, sir. Yes, coach.
So does that mean
exactly?
Since you're going to go back to possibly riding, you think we'll ever get you on the Start Your Systems broadcast? It got brought up this week. Come on,
I heard that.
Yeah.
No, because I would just offend everyone.
that would be even better. That's all we do
That's
is
what
on this
we
show.
want.
I would just offend everyone within like 5 minutes, and then I'd have a whole other community after me.
Yeah,
I've already got the American community after me. I don't need the sub-community of video game people after me.
Okay, you guys know Lewis at this point. Like, what do you think it is with some of the American fans that go after Lewis just because of his accent or his humor? Like,
well,
why?
I think I know what it is.
Okay, all right.
Since I picked up the phone, I've not said one thing serious, so people can't figure me out.
It's fun though.
No, I think it's people love to hate. That's all it is. They just find somebody.
I think that's it too.
Yeah, they just.
Well, and also, what makes it funny is that you do react to it, and it makes for good content. And like you're doing your job by reacting to it. But I think that's why it's like you react to it, so they keep doing it. Like maybe that has something to do with it as well.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
It's good though.
I have gotten better with it.
Lewis, since we got you on for just a second, let's I was about to do the Barnett clutch performance of the week. So I'm going to do the read. I'll let you give me, think about your clutch performance, whether it be from the GPs or the Pro Nationals, and let you join in on the segment real quick before we let you go.
Oh, you really trapped me, haven't you?
Well, that's why I'll let you think about it while we do the read. It's not that hard. I mean, come on, man. It's not that hard.
Okay.
Barnett Dirt Digger clutch kits have 75 years of experience behind every kit. Engineered for maximum performance, Dirt Digger clutch kits feature friction materials formulated exclusively for Barnett. Get yours at barnettclutches.com and get 10% off with code VITALMX, all caps. So I was just talking to these guys. I watched the MXGP. I talked to you about it a few days ago. You recorded the MXGP podcast today, I believe. An amazing race from the Netherlands. To me, that's where my clutch performance is going to come from. But what was your clutch performance of the week?
Mine?
Yep.
I could go for Jeffrey's amazing first moto where I thought that he was cooked.
Yep.
But he was not. I could go for Chase's second moto where he crashed and I thought he was cooked, but he wasn't. But instead, I will go for Geyser because that could have gone a lot worse than it did.
100%.
And the fact that he left the Sam GP with a podium after a crash that could have been much worse than it was, and a mistake that could have been horrific. I think Geyser was really the winner because he can now leave the Sam GP, take a deep breath, and be like, okay, now it's more in my hands.
Yeah, he had the crash and then almost crash in that same section in a couple of laps. I don't think they were back-to-back laps, but they were within 3 or 4 laps of each other. But this championship is tight. How many rounds are left? There's 3 or 4 left?
Yeah, 4.
4. So where are you at? I haven't listened to the I don't even know if the MXGP podcast posted yet, but Tomorrow morning. Okay. If you want to give us a little sneak peek, where are you at with who's going to win this thing?
Prado is the safe bet because he's only 9 points behind.
Yep.
And it's basically in his hands. He can overcome the 9-point deficit at his own will. Hurling still needs help to overcome 35 points, so it's not as clear cut. But if you want me to pick between Geyser and Prado, I think Prado is superior, has been superior all year. So Prado is the safe bet. But I would like to think that Jeffrey is still in it, purely because that would be amazing.
Well, he has made up I don't know the exact number, but in the last few rounds, he has made up a lot of points.
Well, do you want to know not to give a spoiler to the MXGP podcast, but do you want to know what I really figured out today?
Yes.
He has made up points since the last few rounds, since I was in Italy. And in Italy, I gave him one heck of a motivational speech. Like the speech that I would like Chase to give me if I do this race, I gave that to Jeffrey before the first moto. Because I can tell you this now because it's in the past.
Okay.
So before the first moto, and I'll do this quickly, don't worry. Before the first moto, I was in the rider area of the KTM truck thing.
Uh-huh.
And he said to me, who do you think's going to win today? And I said, well, you? And he went, no, not me. I'm not got it in me. I can't beat Tim or Prado. There's no way. And then the sports coach in me came out. And I went, no. First of all, I don't like that attitude. If you've got that attitude, you're never going to win anyway. So get rid of that, first of all. Second of all, you're Jeffrey fucking Hurling. You can win on any weekend, anywhere. The sooner you remember that, the sooner you get back there. And then here we are.
And here we are. So maybe when you line up against Steve, since you're going to be Orange Brigade, you could have Chase and Hurlings, and Steve's blue.
I wouldn't leave the start.
Yeah, and then
If
Steve,
I'd be like, you know what? Let's just hang out.
Steve though would have Eli and Cooper.
I think I prefer my group, to be honest, Jamie.
I like
Let's
it.
be honest. What words would Eli have for Steve? Probably not many.
Can you imagine if we get Hurlings and Chase and Eli and all those guys together for an event, for a race, but it's Mathis versus.
I think that's the only way.
Bruce.
There'd be a little
It's the
pressure
only
there,
way.
Lewis. There'd be a little pressure on you.
Well, I would do it for Chase and Jeffrey.
All right, Lewis.
Well, that just real quick to our listeners that are listening to us, go listen to that MXGP podcast. Even if you do not watch the MXGP, I don't watch the MXGPs, but that's one of my favorite podcasts to hear them talk about it through the week. So I'll make sure our listeners go over and check that out.
To that point, my brother doesn't watch GPs, and he started listening to the MXGP podcast 2 weeks ago, and he said to me he has no idea what we're talking about, but for some reason it's really good.
It's really good.
So
It
that's
really
kind
is.
of sales pitch, I guess.
It really, really is.
Yeah, you and Adam Wheeler, like they don't.
It's
You
Adam.
don't even,
It's Adam.
okay.
It's totally Adam is why it's good.
Well, but I was saying, but they don't always just,
Damn.
like they don't just break down the race. Like they get into
Yeah.
other topics,
It's really
whether
good.
it be Jeffrey Hurling's stories or things that are going on behind the scenes, and it's not always just. Sometimes they barely even touch on the race. It's just
That's absolutely true.
discussion, and it's a really great podcast, which can be found over at VitalMX.com or on the VitalMX feed. But Lewis, dude, thanks for jumping on here for a few minutes and giving us some of your story on the background there on the Chase Sexton race topic.
We want to see it, Lewis.
Yeah, I want to see it. I'd love to see it. I wish you could come to Lakewood and go to the ride day with us.
No, that's a hard no.
Okay.
No.
we got to get Chase to ask him.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah.
Oh, really? Does he want me to go? And then I'll leave now.
Yep.
I don't want to be late.
It's no longer a hard no. I'm in. All right, Lewis, we're going to let you go. We got to finish Barnett clutch performance, and we got to get Marshal Weltin on the phone.
Okay, goodbye.
All right, see ya.
See ya.
That's Lewis Phillips.
They need to get him at the when Sexton wraps up the title at that championship party. I think that's your best bet to get Lewis to commit to it.
Right. All right, what's your Barnett clutch performance of the week? Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. TJ, did you think of one?
Actually,
I mean, we've only been talking about it for a half hour, so.
Yeah, no. Actually,
Hey, next week when we do the show, there will be a Barnett clutch performance of the week. Scotty?
Oh, okay.
Okay, cool.
I think, and I kind of goes against a little bit of what I was saying
I'm
earlier.
gonna go Tomac.
Oh, fuck you, TJ.
I know.
This is why
That's what I wanted to
this is
do.
why he's the number one bully.
Yeah.
That's true.
I don't like people that interrupt all the time.
It's just so rude.
Yeah, you never do that.
So rude. I interrupt a
Hang
lot
on.
too.
Hang on. All right, TJ. What is your
Scotty is muted now.
Barnett clutch performance of the week?
Oddly enough, I feel like really and truly it's Deegan. He had a really good first moto. That first moto, just coming out there, just throwing the wood down and running off from everybody, kind of stamping the point that this is mine and I've got this. I think that was a good start. The pressure didn't seem to get to him at all. That second moto, I think he just rode it in. There's probably like a big adrenaline dump during the deal. So it sounds kind of corny, but I honestly, it's up to say Deegs.
I mean, I can't tell you what your Barnett clutch performance of the week should or should not be, but yeah, I don't feel it was clutch because I expected it more.
I
than I think.
expected somebody young like him to make mistakes. I'm talking about
okay.
with I can win it this weekend. I've got to do it. And
All right,
Yeah,
that's fair.
that first moto performance was
that was really good.
Yeah,
that was dominating.
He laid the wood down.
yeah.
Okay, I have a few of them. Since you went with Eli though, it's
Yeah,
gonna be yours.
Eli's first moto.
Okay, so I put Brock Tickle from the Pro Nationals because he went 9-10 for 8th.
Yeah.
which is a lot closer to what he was hoping to get compared to his Red Bud performance of 12-15 for 13th. So for Brock, I felt that was pretty clutch. He did what he was hoping for. In the GPs, I also said Jeffrey Hurlings in Moto 1. He was 18 seconds back a little ways into the race. Not a great start. He's been having back issues. He's had back pain, wasn't very comfortable, but he came back and won the race. Clutch. Also, Moto 2 of the MX2 class, Lucas Coolant, came from 15th.
How many of these do you have? Can you do a clutch performance?
Well, I have 3 because I figured you guys might not come prepared.
It doesn't say performances. It says performance.
Well, you know what?
Who is the clutchest of clutch?
All right, well, I'm going to give my last one since I didn't get to read it. Lucas Coolant, Moto 2, coming from 15th to win on a sand track, beating Kai de Wolf, who, again, Dutch sand rider. That was pretty clutch for Lucas come to win that moto.
Yeah.
Pretty amazing. Wasn't expecting it. I thought Kai would be the winner of that GP.
And I'll hear all about it tomorrow in the MXGP podcast.
Yeah.
The Vital MX feed pop.
So we need to get Marshall on the phone. Let me work on that. But there's going to be another topic. What we talked about. Were you guys surprised that Tom Vial has not won an overall at all?
Yep.
In Outdoor Nationals?
Yeah.
I'd say that was...
That is the most shocking thing that...
Yeah. Like, I just interrupted you also, but shocking that when they said, I was like, oh, yeah. Like, I just in my mind think Tom...
He's had moto wins, but he hasn't had
no
overall.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I wouldn't have put money on that he wouldn't.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, there's still one round left, but it's wild.
Yeah. For sure.
All right, our next guest of the night's on the line. He's going to be brought to you tonight by FXR, which is designed by racers for racers. With industry-leading fit, finish, and performance, progression is the name of the game with every new piece created. At FXR, we push our brand to the next level to provide you with the best products possible. Used by the Muck-Off FXR Club MX Yamaha team, Mike Brown, Brock Tickle, Chris Kiefer, Benny Bloss, and many more. FXR has core moto roots, so visit fxrracing.com or go to your local dealership and ask for the 25 line of FXR. Tonight, FXR brings us from the Gizmo Mods Rock River Yamaha team, Marshal Weltin. What's up, Marsh?
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Doing good, man. It's been a little bit since we've got to visit with you, so thank you for coming on.
Yeah, appreciate the opportunity. Thanks, guys.
Of course. So, look, right off the bat, what do you think now that we have one round left? How do you rate your overall outdoor season?
Like a 1 to 10 scale?
Yeah, I mean 1 to 10. Is it more realistically compared to where you thought you would be at the end of the season? Where are you finishing?
I think I'm on pace, just a little under. I would like to break into the top 10, just a few more moto finishes. It is a tough crowd up there.
Mm-hmm.
Even if I didn't get more top 10 overalls, I would like to have a few more just breakout rides and try and run that 6, 7, 8 speed at least for half the moto. And I'm still kind of trying to get there this weekend. That's the goal. I want to say I'm content with where I've been at for the overall finishes, but it's kind of where I thought I'd be with the prep and just jumping on the new team this year. So I think as a whole I'm kind of where I thought I'd be, but I wish I could have had a few more breakout rides.
Yeah, you just mentioned the prep with the new team coming off the Suzuki and going to a Yamaha. And the HEP team is technically the factory supported team. Gizmo Mods, Rock River Yamaha is not quite. I don't know where they would compare. I guess I need to ask you, where do the team dynamics compare between the Rock River team as being close to a factory team versus HEP? Like, I mean, how many parts, the help they give you during the middle of the week, is it kind of a step back from HEP or, sorry, the question got long. You know what I'm trying to ask. You get it.
Yeah. I would say it's not quite on the level that HEP's at as far as support. With HEP, I was getting paid, and I had a practice mechanic and race mechanic, and all travel was covered. So there's a lot. It was more of a full program, and as far as the tuning of the bike, I feel like there's a few more opportunities there with staff and resources. We had more days to test suspension in the first year, and just more opportunity, I'd say, where this year the responsibilities have more fallen on me with the practice side of things and race side, just getting things ready. And I've been in the game for a little while now, so I know what I'm looking for as far as a rider. And I think the program's worked really well with me with Rock River this year because I know what I'm looking for from a training and riding standpoint. And if it takes a little bit more work on my end to put it together, I don't mind doing that, but I'm able to at least put together the program. I think that works best for me.
Yeah.
So that is the big perk is, be able to ride where I need to, and I've been able to work with a great suspension company this year, Clint States. He's really kind of bent over backwards in a lot of areas of the year to get me where I need to be. So I've been able to work with him, and he's been a huge part of my program to just get comfortable on the bike.
Yeah. So, but basically there are some positives from the new team and then some negatives, which I think that would probably be the case in any situation anyway, right? I mean, it's not, you're going to have positives, you're going to have negatives. It's not always going to be just completely better.
Always. Yeah. I'm really happy with how things have went this year with the team, and I've really enjoyed being around everybody. They've done a great job. Everybody works hard. So, it's tough. We got a lot of riders under our tent. We have I think some weekends 8 or 9 guys, and it's definitely overwhelming, but everybody's kept their cool pretty well all year and worked hard, and pretty impressive to have that many guys all under the same rig with the amount of parts and budget we have to make everything work.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say factory bike, push button start. Yeah. Same thing.
Well, we got 3 pressure washers, if that puts it into perspective, and they're not, in the truck. So to go through a race weekend with 8 or 9 guys with 3 pressure washers, it definitely takes a good group of guys to be able to make it work. And it is under a tent, and we are a full functioning team, but there's a lot of responsibilities on everyone's end to keep the ball rolling.
Did you have any more, Scotty?
Oh, you can go ahead.
Oh, so points wise, obviously SMX is huge for a guy like yourself, and that's been a battle. I believe you're currently 19th in points and pretty safe, I think, right now. Actually, it's possible you should be able to pass Barsha at Ironman, so you're pretty safe. But that had to be the end goal, right? Is you've got to get into SMX and make some money.
Yeah, coming into the year, the goal for Supercross was to be top 10 in the Supercross, the 250 East Coast Championship, and I was running around that for a while, and I ended up 12th. And then same goal for the outdoor series. I want to be top 10 in points. A little bit off of that, but I feel, and then the main goal was to get into the SMX playoff. So that was the biggest box to check. So we're on pace for that right now. I'm really excited to race Ironman because I'm really comfortable there. I wasn't excited to race Bud's Creek. Really struggled all weekend.
Right.
So I'm excited to finish out at Ironman on a track that I like and feel confident at. But yeah, the main goal for the year was the SMX playoff, to be locked into that.
So you did not race SMX last year, I don't think.
The past 2 years, so I've went through a couple knee surgeries.
Yeah,
I've had 2 knee surgeries, and I wasn't able to race. I tore it in Colorado last year. I re-tore it in Colorado, so that put me out for the SMX playoffs last year.
Okay, so what I wanted to ask, and I brought this up with a few guys last year, and there were some discussions. SMX does make the season feel much, much longer, and the top guys, even though they like the money, are kind of like, man, it's a lot more racing, I'd like to have some weeks off. But for a guy like you, you're probably like, hell, let's do some more. The more money I can make, the SMX is ideal for guys like you.
I'm going to be honest, it's weighing on me right now. I've been nonstop since pretty much the start of Supercross. I did try and do a few 450 Supercrosses, and they didn't quite go my way.
Right.
So even on my off weekends in SX, I was still racing. It's been a long year, and I'm really excited to race, always am, but I'm looking forward to, when October comes.
Okay.
So, Marshall, are you, if you somehow happens this weekend, which I don't think you can, but if you were to not make it, would you show up for the 3 rounds in the LCQ?
I believe so. Haven't really thought that far ahead, but
there's a lot of money on the line. I mean, for that much money, there's some terrible things I would do. So.
Yeah, it's definitely a big deal for me to make it in, and it's big financially too. Just for my program that I'm on this year, will help put me in a good position coming into next year.
Yeah, Marshall, I'm looking at the points, and it's been really cool to see this battle for, that we kind of always have with you group of guys at the 10 to 15 range, have something really more to work for, like Freddie and Phil and you and Grant and Chiz and all those. Do you feel that because of the SMX pressure that those battles are a little more on the line? Does it feel that way in the race?
I don't think it. I think we're about all of us are battling the same with or without that. Honestly.
Okay. I just didn't know if it,
everyone in that range are just dogs and they just like to fight. And I think I don't know unless someone's hurt and not feeling good, maybe they'd give up the position otherwise. But if everyone's healthy and racing each other, there's too much pride on the line to let any position go. But I would say it makes you a little bit more. Like, I think it prevents risk a little more. I mean, even last weekend, I was really happy with how I felt horrible all day, and to be able to walk away with some solid points, it was a huge bonus for me just for the SMX standpoint. But if that wasn't on the line, I would have felt, pretty horrible, for the overall results of the weekend, just how things turned out with my moto finishes. But since I was able to advance in the SMX, it kind of made the weekend almost a little more positive for me.
Yeah, out of that group of guys, which one, when they beat you, gets under your skin the most?
I mean, I've had my targets that I've failed all year, but
it's a good target.
I mean, me and Grant actually get along really well, and when he beats me, I give him fist bump right away. We're pumped for each other, and it's vice versa. So we're both pretty easy going in that aspect. I don't really have any. I don't think really any enemies in the people that I'm battling with right now. We're all cool.
So you have some guys that you've battled with through the years and different times that are going to wind up in the LCQ, and you're going to be going straight to the mains and all that kind of stuff. Do you think that there's any advantages those guys getting a little bit more track time before the race for the finish, the guys who make it in from the LCQ?
I haven't even thought about that, but I don't know, maybe. Potentially, yeah. But I haven't even looked at the format. I'm going to be honest with you, for the SMX time it's all ran.
I mean,
I don't know.
It's not really any different than the LCQ a night in Supercross. I mean, I guess.
Yeah, no, I don't really think it plays too much of a factor. Yeah. If anything, it's more of a liability.
Yeah.
It's funny to me how some of us guys who obviously aren't in your shoes and can ride like you, how we think all this stuff, and then the racers are like, oh yeah, well, I don't think that really matters.
Just going through the motions.
He's like, I got an hour to ride an Ironman this weekend. Like, that's all I'm worried about. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't even looked at the format or the schedule for the SMX. I think we do 2 motos, right?
Yeah, it's 2. It's 2 motos. Going from the Suzuki to the Yamaha, what was the biggest change bike-wise? What did you feel that was significantly different? And maybe what do you like better about each one?
I'm going to say that the Yamaha, the stability of it, from the top tube, I think that you gain a lot more feel when you're under like a load, like in a transition from a gully or just any chop. I think the Yamaha absorbs the small stuff and the chatter. It's a lot less twitchy than the Suzuki. The bike that I was on had a really solid engine package, but I like the Yamaha engine package more.
Okay.
And standard OEM Suzuki wasn't my favorite thing to ride, but the bike that I was racing was pretty solid. I think the Yamaha feels a little stronger all around.
Yeah, I know Chiz, who's going to be on the phone in a little bit, did a lot of the testing, at least for Kenny's bike. Did you use any of his testing or settings when you were racing?
Don't believe so.
Okay. Yeah, the 25 Yamaha, I don't know if you've had a chance to ride one of those yet, but everything I'm hearing is even more stable.
Yeah, I haven't had an opportunity to. I'm looking forward to it. I really do like riding the Yamaha. When people ask me, what bike they should get in, I tell them every time Yamaha 450, because if I was racing, even not being on the team that I'm on, I would still choose to ride that bike out of any bike, that you could pick out of the lineup. I'd choose the Yamaha 450.
That's a good answer.
125 or like a 250F. If I would pick a bike to go on a ride day anywhere, it's the bike I'm on. So it makes things easier that, with some of the struggles this year. It's like, at least I'm on a bike that I like.
Right. Yeah.
It's a bummer when you're racing and you don't like your motorcycle.
I would think so. Yeah. Yamaha Motor USA, title sponsor of the MotoXpod show. So good answer.
Yep, they got something right over there.
Yeah.
Did you ride the 250 Suzuki?
Yeah, I raced it in Supercross in 2023.
So how do you think that Ken's going to do this weekend?
I think just basing it off of how Schwartzy did in Millville,
Yeah.
I don't think that it's quite enough. And that's putting all respect to the Suzuki. Just
Right.
Those other bikes have so much R&D thrown into the engine package and ECU. It's tough to compete with that level of motorcycle. So if he does show out, and even if he's top 5 both motos, I think that it just proves that he's a badass.
Well, the Suzuki has like 15 years of R&D into that bike.
That one model. Yeah, I think he's just going to have a good time.
Yeah, it'll be cool.
But yeah, so Marshal Weltin tonight, brought to you by FXR. Marshall, where have you been training? I know at one point you were in California, you're in Michigan, you're in Florida. Are you still just kind of bouncing?
Yeah, I've been on a bit of a journeyman's trip for the summer. I've been living in California. I live with Brock Pickle at the moment.
Okay.
We're in Lake Elsinore, so I'm there. And then after round 3, I got an opportunity to come back east to Colorado, or to Tallahassee. So I drove to Denver, and my girlfriend lives there, so I stayed there for a couple days. She's up in Breckenridge and Frisco, so then I got to hang out there. It was pretty rad. And then ended up road tripping from there to Tallahassee. And originally I was staying with Anthony Rodriguez. We're pretty close friends. And I stayed in Tallahassee for about a month, and then Redbud came. So just the way things worked out with my travel budget, and I really wanted to spend some time back in Michigan. I haven't been able to be there in the summer in like the past 10 years, I think. So it was important to me to get some time back home and spend some time with my family. My dad actually just sold his business, so he's had more time to be at home. So I just wanted to put a little bit of time aside to be there for the summer. And it was actually, a great month of July, I think it was. And from there, I drove back. I drove down to Loretta's, and then I was there helping a couple riders that I coach, and that helped me out a little bit. So I was there with them, and then I drove back to Tallahassee, and now we're here for the rest of SMX.
All right.
I'm currently I'm staying with a couple mechanics from Star, with Brent Duffy and Mikey Germain and Austin Kent. So pretty cool group. I'm staying with them right now.
Yeah, but man, that group might get you in trouble, especially Duff.
No trouble over here. Straight in there.
No, Austin, man, he likes to talk a lot of shit too. So I don't know, man. I don't know if that's a great group of people for you to be hanging out with.
They just lock themselves in their rooms, and little field bounces. They're quiet.
Okay, all right.
That was a championship house this weekend.
Yeah,
you still got Iron Man going.
Duff said he spent like $600 on alcohol this weekend.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Duff and Austin. I love those guys. They're good
I don't
dudes.
know nothing about that.
Okay, good.
Yeah, after Iron Man, we'll talk, right?
Yeah. Go ahead.
With the, obviously with the being on the factory team with Suzuki, you had probably a little better of a salary and plan, stuff like that. This year, it's been a little bit different with being on a satellite team. Is there a certain spot in the SMX points that you have to get to where like, hey, I have the potential to make more than I would have last year? Or where I know you haven't really looked at that too much, but where do you think about like the salary wise? Will it compare with the good SMX result?
Just being completely transparent, I don't even know where I'm at with it. I just know it would help me a lot, coming into the off season to have a little cushion, because I'm not getting, paid salary from, my current operation. So, I don't know as far as the numbers line up. It'd probably be. I just have a lot of expenses right now with my current operation. I have to have practice bike expenses and all my travel. And the travel, it's hard to do it much cheaper than $850,000 a weekend, no matter which way you cut it. So when you're racing as many rounds as I am, that expense is really the tough one. Entry fees too. Got to cover entry fees for Supercross and motocross, and those are set fees. So those are just, expenses that are gone with zero return on investment.
Right.
And that was the nice part about, working with Suzuki is all that stuff was covered.
Yeah. So as long as it cashes, right? Like,
Yeah, so for people that don't really understand, like you said, you're on the Gizmo Mods Rock River team, but it's not a buy-in deal that you're on, I don't believe. But tell people how that works. What does Rock River Yamaha help you with? And you just talked about some of the things you're responsible for. So what is the benefit of being on a team like that?
Yeah. So like I was saying before, my team does have quite a few riders, and I think, there is opportunity to buy in to the program. I think me and Grant are on a different, we're on a different program than the rest, but we're, for me, my deal is I get, a race bike and a practice bike and a race mechanic every weekend. And they help, with support on that end of things. But, everything else is pretty much on my end.
Okay.
So I got to get myself there, sign myself up, and, I have my practice bike expenses as well.
Well, that'll lead me into my next question then, because I was going to ask you, as a privateer, what are some of the things that you would like to have help with that would make your program, so much easier? And I would think, not having to deal with travel, but what are 2 or 3 things that if you could have them taken off your plate and a team take care of, what would be the things you'd pick for them to do?
Yeah, I just don't want to be a privateer too bad anymore.
I hear you.
That's a simple answer to the question. It's the travel's tough though. The travel's probably the biggest debt in the program.
Right. So, all right, what do you need then to make the next step? You're 9 years in, I believe, to your pro career. What do you need to make the next step?
I think to stay healthy. It seems like I just start to always catch my form or catch a stride, and it's like I kind of get knocked back. And even after the summer of 2022 with HEP, I feel like I was in a similar position to where I'm at now. And end of September came, and I was supposed to go race World Supercross, and I was playing basketball, not even aggressively, just took a step on the court, and my knee folded, and I tore my ACL. Super freak thing. It wasn't anything that could have been prevented. And, and then just another knee surgery after that before, the year before, probably 3.5, 4 years ago, I had a shoulder surgery on my labrum when I was racing in Canada. I think a big thing for me was to get out of Canada and get back to racing in the States at a higher level. I noticed when I was there, I stopped moving forward, and I feel like now it's easier to make progression and just latch on to people. I think a big thing for me is to work with other riders. I absorb speed, and I'm a visual learner. So when I'm able to be around other people that are leveling up constantly, I adapt to that well.
Okay.
So I think as long as I stay healthy and just be around, riders that are, excellent at what they do, good things will happen.
Yeah.
When it comes to tracks, Marshall, we always think of like, this is a hometown track for this guy. He's had good luck here or good results here. Like, it always kind of seems to be the narrative around certain guys going to different tracks. Does tracks that you feel comfortable at or excited to go to, does it equal better results, or is it just kind of luck of the draw?
100%. The only one that doesn't play into what you said was Redbud. I really felt great going into Redbud. I thought I was going to have, the best weekend of my career this year at Redbud, and it just didn't happen. I fell twice in the first lap, and it was kind of a nightmare. I went 17-14. I did get the hard charger, which is pretty rad, but I just didn't get myself in position on the starts. After Redbud, though, my old man had a starting gate made for me, a grid, and got a lot of starts in, and my starts have definitely improved since Redbud. So that was a big turning point for me. But after Redbud and going into Washougal, had a lot of confidence coming into Washougal, and I had my best weekend there. So it definitely plays a role. And coming into Budds Creek, didn't have a lot of confidence with it, didn't do great. And same with Southwick. For some reason, Southwick, Budds Creek, and Millville, those are my three that they just don't gel well with for me, whether just the dirt or how it's prepped or the layout. Just something about those that are tough, and all the rest I like. I think they're all pretty good.
Yeah, I think that mentality of liking where you're riding is normal for anybody. Even you and I, Scotty or TJ, like we like to go to a track, we ride well. We don't like a track, we ride bad because it's just you're negative in your own headspace. And
you're Marshall. He's the worst about that.
I am.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shut up, Scotty. I'm not talking about me.
He got beat by Steve and Glenn Helen. Is I can't ride Cali tracks.
Well, that's true. Yeah. I mean,
it took me a long time to be comfortable riding in California, so I can understand where you're coming from. There's just something different about it there. The weather to the way it's prepped, and it dries out so quick. There's a million people on the track at one time, and it just doesn't feel the same as riding anywhere outside of California.
No, there's no moisture in the ground. There's nothing to push off of. And that Glen Helen, you go along that back section, I guess before the finish line, and there's like boulders off the cliff that you have to freaking like landmines that you have to go around. It's terrible. It's terrible.
I raced that warm-up race there this year, and it was humbling. The speed, I don't understand how those 250 guys were going as fast as they were, because I had my Yamaha 450 in fifth gear, wide open, like a 49-tooth sprocket, and I just couldn't go any faster.
Yeah.
The speed of the bike was topped out. So it was impressive that what Pierce and Ryder did at that warm-up race, because I'm like, I don't know, how do you go any faster?
It's funny now that you say that. I was just thinking, well, I've been on the track with those guys, but I've been on the track with you too when I've been out there practicing with Kiefer, and I've watched you go blowing by me. Yeah, think about a guy like me versus a guy like you when those guys go by. And it doesn't make any sense. Like, I'm going up the hill, I feel like I'm wide open, and then I've got like who was I think
those
Robbie,
are the bikes.
I think Robbie Wageman, or maybe it was RJ Wageman. One of the Wageman brothers was out there practicing and going by up the hill, and they took the right hand off and were like showing me how to twist the throttle as they're passing me up a hill. I'm like, yeah, F you, dude. That's as fast as my bike goes, period.
There is something special about coming down Mount St. Helena and freaking fourth gear wide open. That's not many things really get me excited or give me adrenaline, but for some reason, every time I come off the top of that hill and do that, kind of makes my heart flutter a little bit.
Well, there's the difference in you and I, because I'm terrified. The first time I rode there, I felt like I was on the front brake and the back brake going down the hill, and I was gaining speed, and I didn't know what to do. Yeah. But anyway, okay, I got one more for you. You've raced in Europe in the past. I want to know what you learned from there that helped translate to American motocross or just helped you in your career. And if the opportunity came back, would you consider going back there?
I think I don't know what I've learned that translated me to a better racer here, but it's brought a lot more awareness from a racing standpoint, I'd say.
Okay.
Still the same job. I mean, show up to the practice track, do the work, and then show up on the weekends. I'd say there's a bigger emphasis on qualifying there.
Yeah.
That was the biggest takeaway I had from it. Still haven't figured out how to qualify to this day, so I can't say I learned how to qualify there. But yeah, I mean, they're gritty, and I'd say they're grittier for a lot less. There's a lot more guys there that are willing to, put in the work for nothing.
Yeah.
Or not, I mean, pennies on the dollar for what the guys here are getting. So I respect that side of it. There's a lot more people behind the scenes that are out grinding in February in Germany or Belgium when it's pouring rain for nothing, just for the love of it. And people here wouldn't even think about, starting the dirt bike up when it's snowing or icy rain and just going to go ride. So there's some core riders there in that area.
Mm-hmm.
I spent a year in France and then a year in Belgium, so I kind of got to experience a couple different cultures and the way they handle it. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's still the same job, and there's badasses there, and there's some bad dudes here. So I don't know if you guys watched the race in the weekend, but
yes.
That was impressive. I actually did a winter race there in 2018 at like a warm-up race, and it was a brutal track. Arnhem's tough, and they just make it look like it's not that harsh.
There's something about there's something about those guys on those sand tracks and the way they just ride differently than we do here in the U.S. And it's a thing of beauty to watch Herlings and Kida Wolf and those and Lucas Coolant they make it look so smooth.
Well, yeah, you watch like Kida Wolf and you think you can't go any faster on a dirt bike, and then Coonan makes them kind of look silly sometimes, and it's really impressive.
I agree.
Switching the styles, it's cool to watch because Coonan's just more calculated and Kida Wolf's a little more sendy, but it's working out for Coonan right now.
Yeah, it is. Who do you think's going to win that championship? Who you got?
What's the gap between Coonan and
give me a second. I have it right here somewhere. Lucas is 44 down.
Ooh. Yeah.
Or is that 4 down? Shoot, I don't know. I think it's more than that.
No, I think he's got a bigger lead.
Yeah, 44.
I think Kai's got a good grasp on it because just for the fact he can pretty much make his way back to the podium every single race, no matter what.
Right. What about the MXGP class? Because that is definitely tightened up. We got a 9-point difference.
I think Herlings is nothing to sleep on. I think something can happen with his front two, and I think Herlings is going to find a way to get himself back in it.
He's working on it every week for sure. So yeah,
he's my prediction.
Okay.
Can't count him on.
All right.
There's all the talk of like him being more humble and acting like he's not on pace, but I just don't buy it. I don't buy it for a second.
Well, we'll find out in a few short weeks, man. It's going to be exciting to watch the finish of that. And Marshall, appreciate you jumping on here with us tonight. Good luck at Ironman and SMX coming up. I'll be at the Fort Worth round, so I'll have to come by and say hi to you.
Sweet. Thanks for having me, guys.
Anytime, man. You have a good night. Good luck this weekend.
Thanks.
All right.
Bye.
See ya. That's Marshal Weltin, brought to you tonight by FXR. What you doing over there, TJ? Just you watching TV, watching a movie?
We have a
Leave
live
him
chat.
alone.
Okay.
And I'm kind of doing my job.
Just worry about you. Just do
you're-
you.
You're doing your job?
Just
my
do
job.
you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I am. I'm just making sure he's paying attention.
Mind your business.
I am. Let's go back to the X-Brand Forum check-in because we didn't finish the other topic.
Okay.
Tomac or Plessinger topic presented by MX219. He says, I think Plessinger he's basically who should be picked for Motocross Nations, right? Mm-hmm. I think Plessinger, he's riding probably the best he ever has. Maybe Ironman will change my mind, but Plessinger rode well yesterday, meaning last weekend at Bud's. So yeah, I think we touched on it a little bit last week, but right now, after Bud's Creek, who do you think of those two deserves the ride? Either one of you.
I mean, it's Plessinger just because.
Deserves Plessinger.
Yeah. But if Eli comes back this weekend and then just like gets on a podium, if he gets on the podium this weekend, I think that changes it. But I do, like I said earlier, it's possibly maybe disrespectful to any of the American prospective riders who have been there for them to be pushing so hard to get Tomac in. It's like I think I heard somebody else say in one of the other podcasts or something that, and I didn't even think about it. I said this, Tomac doesn't have like some history of going over there and dominating. He doesn't have like where we have some, especially some of the GP guys who do, good at the GPs, but then they go to MX Nations and just I can't think of there's a GP rider for the last, like, I guess 3 or 4 years ago where when he'd show up he could win his class.
Coldenhoff, probably?
Yeah. And where at the GPs, Tomac's not that.
He wasn't as good in the GPs as he was in the MXDN.
Yeah. And so the same thing with Tomac's not as good in MXDN as he is in our series.
He hasn't been as dominant. That is correct.
So it's not like we're holding off for a sure win.
No, but if both of them have been racing all year and if they're at their peak, who would you have more faith in having a good result though? AP or Eli? Scotty? Yeah,
I mean that's kind of the whole thing is based off of this year's results, and it should go to AP. He's steadily improved. He's put in the work. He deserves it. But if there's a chance that Tomac is going to be back to Tomac's shape in 6 weeks when it is, then like that makes sense too. Like, does AP deserve it? Yes. But if they think that Tomac can be his great self, then it would, and their goal is to win, then that would be the right pick too.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's a wrong pick, honestly.
No, and I think it kind of depends on how you look at it, right? Do you look if you're going to look at it and go, well, it's not really fair because AP's raced all season, Eli hasn't. Well, it's not really about what's fair. It's about what's best for our team, our country. If we're going by what's fair, yes, AP deserves the ride. If we're going by, okay, in a month, who's the better pick? Probably Eli.
Tomac is the high risk, high reward pick.
Yeah.
Plesager's the safe pick.
Is Deegs going?
He's in. As of right now, he's in.
Okay. So the reason why I ask is because I was curious about which rider gets better support. But if Deegan's going, then that means Starr's going. So really and truly, it's kind of a toss-up because you're either going to have a KTM rider whose Chase is going to be there, so KTM's going to be supporting it, or you're going to have a Starr rider who Deegan's going to be there. So, I mean, I would say it's kind of a toss-up right now. And we'll see this weekend. I mean, I hate the fact that they're waiting, and it's got to be a little bit of
to announce, you mean?
Yeah.
Why do you hate? I don't care as long as we pick the best team. Why do you hate that they haven't announced it yet? Just because you want to know?
Just I want to know.
Okay.
Yeah. Then not hate as in I'm mad about
I'm
it
with
or
you.
whatever.
I'm with you.
I'd like to know. I think it'd be cool.
So what you didn't know the Deegan thing or what you got?
Oh, it's just he's in, he's out, he's out, he's in. It's just like just say you're you're in.
He was
Why
out.
is he so hateful to Deegan?
Yeah, I don't know, man. He was
Don't
out
say that, because that's not the.
he needs to have surgery.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think they decided they can hold off a little bit. I'm not sure exactly why.
I think the backlash of him not
And
going,
it might be that. I don't know.
Which is fine to me. But.
Yeah, I tried to get him on the show tonight. There's something I wanted to ask him, but he didn't feel like doing any media right now. So no luck. All right, let's jump into T-Bolt USA top 5 bullies this week. Vince, next week is top 5 goals in life. T-Bolt top 5 next week.
Not to
goals
get bullied
in life. Yeah, I don't want to be bullied by Scotty anymore, and I don't want to be bullied by you, Vince, with your aggressive email. I'm joking.
Yeah.
I'm joking. If you are a pit bike enthusiast and love shredding on a CRF 110, KLX 110, or whatever you have, you need TBoltUSA.com bookmarked on your web browser. T-Bolt USA is a pit bike supply site that has everything you need for your pit bike. From BBR handlebars to D&M shocks and even full bikes, from YCF and Pitster Pro bikes, T-Bolt USA has it all. They even have stuff for the Chinese bikes that are so difficult to find. You'll find pit bikes, engines, and parts at TBoltUSA.com. Top 5 bullies. Who wants to go first?
I don't think anybody. I usually goes towards the end, so I'll go first. I don't think anybody's going to pick the guys I did because these popped in my head.
Okay.
And my wife and I were talking about it, so she did So Judge Smails from Caddyshack.
Okay.
I mean,
Is he a bully though?
Yeah,
I don't remember that.
If anything,
it's been a while since I've seen that movie.
If anything, the Ronnie Dangerfield character is the bully.
No, Smails was the bully. Smails was like
no, because he's the one that's always giving him the hard time. He's always ruining the events.
You have me there, but wow, I think Scotty's right.
He always ruins his boat. He ruins his boat. He ruins his party. He ruins his dinner. He ruins his round.
Rodney Dangerfield and Caddyshack will make the list.
Acting like an idiot. You're the idiot.
I guess I'm the idiot. Okay, well,
changed my life.
Damn, is Jim a bully
Jim
from The Office?
Yes. Francis Buxton. I had to look his name up.
That
So I
name
couldn't remember.
sounds really.
Where's that from?
Pee Wee Herman.
Oh, okay.
The heavyset guy.
The heavyset guy. I couldn't remember his name, so I had to look that one up.
Yeah, in the movie. He thought, was he the one that actually stole the bike?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, they thought he stole the bike.
Yeah.
He actually, yeah.
Okay.
And then Sergeant Hartman from Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah.
That's like the,
for sure.
Oh yeah.
Sure. Boy.
I almost actually used that one.
Really?
Yeah, I thought of that one.
Yeah. And then Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice is the bully.
Yeah, but Beetlejuice is the bully.
You know, there's a new one coming out.
Yeah, my wife and I were talking about it, and that's when I brought Beetlejuice up. She said there's a new one. I'm dreading it, and I hope they do a good job. But Keaton is Beetlejuice again, so that's going to be good.
Yeah. We saw the previews for it at the Deadpool Wolverine.
Did the previews look good?
I mean, it looked like a Beetlejuice movie. I only saw that movie once.
Oh, I love
I feel like I need to watch it again because I didn't really like it when I watched it, but I do love Tim Burton, and I need to watch it again.
I've seen the movie many times. And then the best bully of all time, through all time, is Biff.
From the Back to the Future.
All the Back to the Future trilogies.
I almost saw that one too.
All the Biffs.
Yep.
You go ahead.
Okay, because Scotty probably doesn't have his yet.
No, I'm trying to. I had them all in my head, and now I'm trying to write them down, and I can't remember.
Remember when he first started? He actually brought notes. Remember?
Yeah.
And then now he just shows up late.
Tries to remember
It's
things.
almost
Makes a pizza mess everywhere.
All right, mine are Fred O'Bannon from Dazed and Confused. One that likes to do the paddling.
Yeah. That's a good one. That's a really
Ben
good one.
Affleck, yeah.
Debo from Friday.
That's
Yeah,
a bully.
that's
That
a
is
good
the
one.
king of the bullies. That's good.
This is for all the ladies out there listening. Regina George from Mean Girls.
Yeah, that's a good one.
What?
No, she's a bad bully.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's bad.
Is that a movie?
Yeah, Mean
Yeah.
Girls with Lindsay Lohan.
I've only seen glimpses of it, but
It's actually a really good movie.
yeah,
Cartman
yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
and Draco Malfoy from Harry Potter.
Those are good.
He's a little bastard.
But didn't they wind up being friends later?
I think there were some moments where he was nice, but in the end, like he was a bully throughout most of the movies. Even like I don't remember the family that Harry lived with always at the beginning.
Oh,
they were bullies too.
The family was even the son
That was my
a
favorite
bully.
part of that. Every one of those movies was that first 15 minutes. It was always my favorite part. I loved him getting bullied and just like because it was so uncomfortable. I loved that. That was my favorite part.
Yeah, that's funny.
Okay, those are my five.
Those are really good ones. Actually, really good ones.
Thank you.
All right, so I've got the Macaulay Culkin and when he was the good son.
That's a good movie, actually.
Yeah.
But was he a bully in that?
Yeah,
I don't remember. I just remember him being like evil, right?
Yeah, but he bullied Mark, who was actually the
Okay.
guy from. They ended up being Frodo from Lord of the Rings.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
because he bullied the sister and she.
I don't remember the premise that much.
Yeah, like she died in the frozen pond.
Okay.
And he like. I guess he was just evil, but I think he was a bully.
Okay, that's fair.
The O'Doyles from Billy Madison. O'Doyle rules.
Okay.
Doyle rules.
That's funny. No, I was thinking of the McPoyles when I laughed. Never mind.
The O'Doyles. I got a feeling something bad's gonna happen to you and your family, O'Doyles, and then they slip on the banana and fall off the cliff.
But you know the McPoyles from Always Sunny?
Oh, the McBoyles.
McPoyles.
Is it Poyles? No, okay, anyways.
El Pollo Loco?
Yeah. Kid Rock and Joe Dirt.
Ah, yeah, he was a bully. He was a bully.
Angelica from Rugrats.
I almost picked that one too.
Yeah, she was hardcore.
Dude, I literally just found Rugrats. It's on, like season 1 is on Hulu and the rest are on Netflix or something. I've been watching them a little bit.
Yeah.
Great cartoon.
I can't remember her name, but the girl from Snoopy that always picked up the football. Lucy, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a bitch move.
She just did it over.
Always
aggressive take.
Always.
What an
over the
aggressive
poor,
take.
just hold the ball. Let him kick the ball once. Like, my God. Yeah.
All right. So usually I don't want to do this, but I want to, now that we've done the top 5 bullies, if you want to still send in your top 5 bullies, we'll read them next week.
We can honestly do this again because I'm going to think of like 10 more on the way home.
MotoXpodShow@gmail.com. But next week is top 5 goals in life. You can also send in your top 5 goals in life. They could be good goals. They could be racing goals. They could be relationship goals. I don't care. Just top 5 goals. But also send us your top 5 bullies because I'd like to hear some others. I'm sure there's.
I was surprised that the ones I didn't think of that y'all came up with. None of us had the same ones, which was cool.
And I almost picked a couple that you picked.
Yeah.
All right. Evans Coolant emails. Evans waterless coolant protects your engine because it always stays liquid. Steam inside the engine creates hot spots and detonation, but with Evans, this metal is always liquid cooled. Used by HRC Honda, Factory Beta USA, and Pro Factory Yamaha, and lots of other teams, regardless of sponsorship. Evans is in the bikes on the podium.
Yeah, I forgot. The chat reminded me. Honorable mention to Steve Mathis and Kiefer.
Yeah. So would you said you listened to the MXGP podcast?
No, sometimes. Not this week's, obviously, because it's not out yet.
When you listen to it, pay attention to his reads and how he goes into them so smoothly. Like with there, you could have been, those are some really hot topics, and we could cool those off with Evans Coolant. And as you see, like
he fumbles when he does that, though.
I mean, he's just got to be better at that.
I got to be better.
TJ, B minus, dude. Like, just be happy that he's here.
He's B minus today. He's not C. He's been doing
B
good.
minus today.
All right, Evans Coolant emails. Let's start with Vince Pale.
That's a good one. Nelson from The Simpsons. The chat's catching up.
Will we ever get to see the top MX riders on the same track again like we did in the 70s and 80s at the USGP? So, GP riders plus American motocross riders. Yes, the answer is I believe next year they are trying. The goal in 26 is to have a combined GP national in the U.S.
Who benefits from that? Like which
Us.
What
The
series?
fans.
No, I know the series, the fans. So we talked about it last week, where the in my opinion, the outdoor nationals benefited more from the SMX series as far as rider turnout, as far as that goes. Who benefits from that more? Does it help MXGP or does it help the nationals more?
Probably the nationals more. I don't know that. I mean, that'd be a good question for Lewis.
Well, the reason why I ask is because, like, is anybody who watches MXGP gonna be like, man, those American riders are good, and I'm gonna start watching them? Or do we have Americans who are like, oh yeah, I saw him race against?
I got you. In that aspect, I would guess a lot of U.S. fans, maybe more U.S. fans would go, oh yeah, I don't really watch the GPs. Wow, I didn't realize how good they are. But I think they already know because I'm sure they watch MXDN and they just don't care.
Yeah.
They still don't stick with it. So
I think it could backfire the most against MXGP, because what if they come over here? Because it's going to happen here, because American guys aren't going to travel over there for that.
Yeah, well, that round will happen here.
That's what I'm saying. It'll happen here. If the Americans take more of the top 10 spots, then Americans are going to be like, yep, we're better. Why would I care about watching that?
Yeah. My thing is will there ever, because there's different rules for GPs, different rules for here, and then one's got to travel, and it's all. Would there ever be a way to have an unbiased race that doesn't favor one or the other?
You'd have to have a series. You'd have to have equal rounds.
Yeah, that'd be
but
the only
even
way.
then, you could
That's
have
what
a
I would
couple
more
in
like to
America,
see.
maybe one in but they'd have to have one in the Netherlands, like Lommel, where it's something we're not used to, not that kind of sand, and then one. I don't know, one of the other.
And then
they're
they're used to traveling from country to country. The Americans
aren't.
But
the traveling. Well,
no, I'm saying as far as if you sit the Americans over there, those guys aren't used to traveling from country to country, dealing with all of that. So I don't think it'd ever be fair.
They should come to the U.S. for the MXGP, because it's a world championship, and I think that it's really kind of it's really a European championship when it comes down to it, but it's labeled as a world championship.
We had World Supercross Championship with Canada.
That's different.
Okay, two more emails. Phil Smelter says, with the Hunter Lawrence Justin Cooper incident in Moto 1,
that was crazy.
He said, I think Hunter cross jumped Justin, and he put it. Everyone's like, "Oh, Justin jumped long, jumped into Hunter." I went back and rewatched it, and he's kind of right. Hunter drifts left, and Justin doesn't really jump that much farther than Hunter did.
Oh, really?
I don't think so. He didn't launch out there where everyone's like, "Oh my God, did he try to triple?" No, to me it looked like he just jumped to the end of the jump, but Hunter drifted left.
Yeah, on TV it looked to me like even if he did just drift left, nobody else was jumping that far.
Yeah, I think I rewatched it today, and I feel like they jumped about the same distance.
Wow, okay.
To me, he just jumped kind of lean. He went under. Maybe Justin jumped a little further, but not much.
The reality is that they just went 100 something plus yards into a tight 180. Yeah. Another 100 plus something yards into a blind step up jump. It's 40 guys behind them. Anything can happen.
For sure.
It was what I couldn't believe that Hunter didn't go down. He went off the track.
Got lucky.
But the fact that he didn't go down or something didn't happen to the bike, that's nuts.
Very lucky.
Damaged exhaust or something.
I think you're right.
You know they were moving.
Right now?
I just watched it right now.
Yeah.
And it's actually Hunter may have jumped a little farther than Cooper.
That's what I'm saying. It wasn't the way
it wasn't the way it looked like from the angle that they showed it on TV. It looked.
Oh, he did kind of jump in. He's trying to he was closing him off.
Whose email was that?
Phil Smeltzer.
Phil Smeltzer was right, and he's the winner of Waiting on Socks.
We'll give him something of yours. Do you have anything good to give him? The ink pen.
But that's but also at the same time for Hunter's sake is there's 40 guys behind him. They're going to the first corner. He's gonna cut. He's gonna try to hold his line,
and that's what happens.
Yep.
All right, you guys ready for the next topic?
Yeah.
All right. Evan's Coolant emails. Last topic. This was a topic from last week that we didn't get to, and it's about Peacock. Guy was complaining because
What? Somebody complaining about TV?
he's like, hey, man, there's all these commercials now when he's watching. Random commercials, not even moto commercials, just regular commercials. And he doesn't like it. Like, I'm paying for this service, and I don't want commercials.
Buy the premium.
It's $6 a month.
I'll wait till you're done.
Oh,
Are
sorry.
you done?
No.
Okay. But he's also complaining that, so he decided he was
guy.
going to cancel Peacock because he's so frustrated with the broadcast and the issues they've been having. He cancels it in the middle of his month, and he went to watch something else, and he can't watch it anymore because as soon as he canceled it, instead of going, all right, well, at the end of the month, they killed it.
He
But he had
canceled the
already paid
subscription.
for the month.
Well, that was his.
Well, no, normally when you cancel something like that, you finish out your month.
I just canceled a couple of subscriptions today, and it says, hey, they end on this billing day. So
That's normally the case.
It's normally the case.
But for him, then he emailed them, and they actually gave him the rest of the month or whatever, turn it back on. But he was really pissed about that too. But okay, so my thing was, I don't have commercials when I watch.
Yeah, premium.
So we gathered that. I was like messaging this guy back, and it was like, okay, well, yeah, he's paying for the bottom tier.
Yep, that's what I do.
One, so you get commercials. That's just the way it is.
But they're not over anything. You don't miss anything.
No, it's just they actually go to a commercial break, whereas normally I don't ever go to a commercial break.
But when it doesn't bother me because when they do the NBC broadcast and the NBC goes to break, it stays on the race.
Yeah, like this year, they were quiet a couple of times where they quit talking
That was
during
cool.
the commercial break.
Super
and you
cool.
just
Yeah.
heard the sound.
Yeah,
if,
but
if you weren't watching on NBC,
if you're watching on Peacock, but they don't ever break up the race.
right. And I think his point. I think they were just going to commercial in between motos.
Yeah,
but
well, you
then
can
they were,
just sit there and watch.
and
them
I kind of like
work on the track.
Like I like this guy, but I'm
says,
like,
"We'll
look,
be
man.
back."
Yeah.
Throughout all my life, pretty much, there's commercials in between. And most of the time, you miss part of the race. So, and he's like, well, why am I paying for a package? Now I have commercials. Well, you always paid for cable TV or you paid for satellite, and there's commercials. It's just the way it is.
To be honest, I would rather hear the commercial than the boom, 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 boom. The little break thing that Peacock does when it.
I don't know what that is.
We'll be like you said when we'll be right back. There's a little song
when it
to
says like we'll be right back or whatever.
That's what you see.
Well, the thing is, I generally haven't been watching it live, so I skip all that. So, but I do know what you're talking about because I did watch live.
I would rather hear a commercial than that. On repeat for 4 minutes.
Has it been? I've never seen it that long. I guess it's usually just for.
a commercial breaks 3 minutes.
Oh, I don't ever get that during the whole commercial break ever.
What does it do?
It stays. Will I either see like a Kawasaki commercial or there's no commercial?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You see commercials, just not the ones that Peacock's getting paid.
Yeah,
for.
I get like a moto commercial.
Yeah.
Sometimes,
and I don't mind, especially when they have like a countdown timer,
or maybe like a progressive or whatever.
Yeah, I like as long as they have the countdown timer and it says,
so you know when they come back.
So 30 seconds, I can go take a pee or whatever. Yeah,
yeah, or I'll watch something on my phone.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, I mean,
I understand what
I do think it's shitty, dirty, whatever. That if you cancel any what do you call it? A subscription in the middle.
Yeah.
You've paid for the month. You should still get the whole month. So that was kind of screwed up. I don't know if that's how they're doing things now or something just got messed up when he canceled. I don't know, but that's not cool at all.
Are you going to watch the race live?
Am I?
This weekend?
I hope not. I hope I'm at the track.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I hope I'm riding somewhere. So the only reason I did this week is because there was nowhere to ride.
Right. But if you go ride or whatever, I'm interested to see if we'll talk afterward to see because I think I pay like for the $6 a month one. I didn't know there was a premium.
Yeah, I pay for
there's Peacock Premium.
I pay for I think the highest level. I think it's like mine's like 12 or 13 a month. I think.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I'm not paying it, but
yeah, I did like it a little bit better when it was like Supercross had its own package, and then they stayed live through the whole thing, and you could go back and watch a lot of the old races. I still can watch some of the old races.
You can do that on mine.
I don't know if there's as many races now, and the replay definitely takes way too long to post.
It does take a minute.
It's a couple hours, I think.
It's about an hour and a half, yeah.
Yeah, that's a little bit. That kind of bums me out.
That doesn't bother me too bad.
It's definitely not the worst thing.
What does bother me though, that annoys me, is that say like I'm driving and I pull it up on my phone, and like say like they're in the middle of the first moto. What?
He's saying you're loud. It doesn't sound any louder to me.
Anyways, go ahead.
My bad.
You want me to turn your headphones down?
Yeah.
Am I loud too?
No, but it's.
I don't even know how it was that loud.
Maybe it's just his voice.
I'm sorry.
Is that any better?
No.
No, I can't hear.
That was you? Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Weird. I got you on mic 1, but headphones 2.
That's good. That there.
Okay. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
I think it was just my headset.
What I don't like is I can be on my phone and then I'm watching it like I come in and it's the middle of the first moto. I can rewind it and start it over.
Okay.
If I stream it to my TV, it goes straight to live and it won't let me rewind it.
Yeah.
It's like, so I have to I either spoil or wait 6 hours to watch it.
You know what I do in that situation? I just cast it from my phone to the TV. From my phone.
That's what I'm doing, and it won't let me rewind.
No, I rewind it.
It still doesn't. It jumps.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe it's because you have a
droid. You have a droid. Because I don't think it does that on mine either.
Yeah, it doesn't do that.
I don't think.
I guess so.
Welcome to another reason why your phone sucks.
I don't cast things very often, so I could be wrong, but it's probably we're going to blame it on the droid.
No, I don't even know if I'm right or if he's right. I'm just blaming.
It's not going to stop y'all from shitting on a droid.
So this buddy of mine, we just had this conversation the other night. We're at dinner and we were talking about droids, and him and his wife were like, we're both on droids because we're not children. And I was like, okay. And then he tried to send me a video today of something making fun of iPhones. And it just said, ha, ha, ha. And I was like, well, I don't know what your ha, ha. And he goes, oh, the video didn't send. I was like, that's because you got a droid.
No, it's because you have an iPhone.
Yeah, the iPhones work just fine for everything else.
They seem to work fine.
Yeah. All right. Our next guest of the night is on the phone. He's going to be brought to you tonight by Guts Racing. Andy Gregg and the Guts Racing crew continue to provide the best seats and foam available. If you want the same seats used by Rockstar, Husqvarna, Hep Suzuki, he just hung up on me, and many more, then you need Guts Racing. They have numerous color possibilities, staple or Velcro installation options, wing seats, and the best foam in the business. With the Phantom Ultralight seat foam. Don't forget they have complete seats for the Talaria and Super 73 and covers for the Suron and Segway. They strive to ship orders within 36 hours. So visit gutsracing.com today and let them know the MotoXpod show sent you. Give me a second. I'm trying to get Chiz back on here.
Chiz definitely has an iPhone, right? I mean,
he has an iPhone, but he's cheap, so it's very surprising, actually.
Well, it shows you
Does Weege have an iPhone?
I'm cheap.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. You kind of have to for this job, man.
You have to in life.
All right, our next guest is on the line. Chiz, what's up, man?
What's up, guys?
You doing all right?
I'm doing good. I tried to answer, but it hung up right when I answered, so I'm not sure what happened.
Oh, no worries. Well, we got you now, so glad to have you on. You're driving home. You said your dad was working on bikes. Did you practice there, or are you just working on getting practice bikes ready?
Just ready for tomorrow. It's pretty standard. My dad will get home from work at like 7 o'clock, and then do some work on my bike if it need, whatever I need, and then get it ready for the next day. So, yeah. So he's always wide open.
Are you tired of this grind yet?
Yes and no. It's a grind for sure, but honestly, I like it.
Yeah, I know.
But you always like, I wish I had a little break, but like, we had like a 2-week break, back a few weeks ago, whatever, and it was nice. But by the second weekend, it was like, okay, this is weird. Like, it feels like I haven't raced in forever, whatever. So you want the break, but then you literally get, 10 days off or whatever, 2 weeks, and you're like, we got to go again. Let's go.
Yeah. That 3-week break was a long time. I mean, it was 3 weeks, 2 weekends. It did feel like a long time with no racing.
It did. Like, honestly, by the time we went back to, what was it, Unadilla?
Yeah.
It was kind of like, man, I feel like I haven't raced in so long. And like, when you do a lot in a row, you kind of get like in a rhythm and like, whatever. Like, you kind of like race on Saturday, fly home on Sunday, take Monday off, ride Tuesday, ride Wednesday, fly back Thursday or Friday. You know what I mean? Like, you kind of just like keep chugging away, but it does wear on you. That's the grind. But then you're like, okay, I need a week off. And then it's like 2 weeks off was almost like too much. It was like, okay, now I'm like out of my rhythm. It's like, wait, I got to pack my bag again. Like, dude, normally I like take my stuff out of my bag, I wash it, and half the stuff goes right back in. My team shirt, and I just put it right back in the bag. So it's like 2 weeks. It was like, oh shoot, I can actually like my like my bathroom stuff that I take every weekend, like toothbrushes, like all my travel stuff. I usually literally just like leave it packed and like take it out when I get home and just put it back. And I have like stuff I leave at home, and it was like, man, I can actually like unpack this bag because I don't need it for a few weeks. And then like you're going to the next race, and you're like, wait, it's weird. I got to pack all this stuff again. It's just
starting over.
As dumb as it sounds, all the dumb little things that like are just. It's weird having 2 weeks off when you've been grinding for 28 weekends or whatever.
Absolutely. Well, let's talk about SMX real quick. You and Dino were in a heated battle. There was a little bit of fun over social media, but I think you're safe now with one round to go. Realistically or legitimately, how much of a relief is that to know that you're probably not going to be in the LCQ?
I mean, honestly, I'm still going. I got work to do.
Okay.
Because it's not done. So, it was nice to add some points. I wish I added more, whatever. But, I wish I would have beat Marshall. I think he was on the show tonight. Maybe I don't know if he was already on, but he was only 1 point ahead of me going into the weekend, and he beat me both motos. We battled a little bit the second moto. And, man, I wanted to actually get in front of him and just give myself more, points on him. He's been riding really good. And, but no, at the end of the day, I gained some points. It's good, but it's not over till it's over. So
yeah,
I got some more work to do. And, it's racing. That's fun, honestly. Like, it's a little stressful, like, when you think about it one way. And at the same time, like, if I could pick, hey, you're 100% good to go, it would just be like a relief. Okay, I'm good. Nothing to worry about. But, at the same time, I'm in a good position, and we got 2 more motos to do, and just, go out there and, face the challenge and accept it, embrace it, and go have some fun. That's kind of the plan.
Yeah, I think Marshall's eight up on you right now, and then Barsha is only like 12 up on you, maybe, or 14 up on you, and he's not racing. So, regardless, I think you're going to be good to go, and just line up next to Marshall and take that front wheel out when you go into the first turn.
Yeah. No, I know you're joking, but I like to do it fair and square. But it's like I said, just go out there and race my best, get the points I need to get, and honestly, I'm like, if I can get a good first moto, that'll make the second moto a little bit less stressful. But honestly, it is what it is. It's racing. Anything can always happen, and I just gotta go out there and do my thing. It's all I can control is what I do. And,
absolutely.
And I've said this to some other people that I've talked about the last couple of weeks, and it's when I think about it, I'm kind of buddies with Dean. Like, we're pretty good friends. Our wives are pretty good friends, and on one hand, it's like it's cool. Like, obviously, I want to beat him. Not just him. Like, I want to be in the playoffs, right? If it was anybody, I'd say the same thing. It's not just Dean, obviously. I want to be in the playoffs. Guaranteed in the playoffs. So regardless of who it is, that's the case. But we're pretty good friends. So that's cool. But at the same time, when I really think about it, Dean he's a really good rider. So just to be battling with him is cool. He's a little bit younger than me. So I got to see him coming up and whatever, like back when I was younger. But to be battling with him, it's pretty cool. I mean, dude, he's a national champion. Like, you know what I mean? He's won an outdoor title, and that's somebody I'm battling with right now. So when you put it in that perspective, it's pretty cool. Now, I have to block that out, obviously, and be like, well, right now, I can beat that guy, potentially. I got to do what I got to do. But just at the end of the day, it's cool. Like I said, it's all good stuff, all positive. And it's pretty cool to be battling with Dino. So, like I said, I'm trying to look at it from that point of view and just go out there and have some fun.
Sure.
Yeah, when Darkside brought up are you tired of the grind and everything and all these races you've done? Like, Chiz has got to be on 1, 2 or 3 of the most attended AMA races of all time, right? Because even the guys that stayed in Super, like Chad, stayed in Supercross for a long time, but they stopped doing outdoors, and you're still grinding both. Like, I'm doubt you keep up with that, but or I don't even know if it's a real stat, but you got to be up there, Chiz. Yeah,
I mean, I would think so, but I did have a few years where I didn't do many outdoors as well. Like from really about 2019 until last year, I only did a few outdoors. Because I was doing pretty much on 2019. HEP was only Supercross. So I didn't really have an outdoor deal. I just did a few races on my own. Until then on JGR for a couple races. And then 2020, 21, and 22, I was doing my own thing on my Yamaha. And kind of same thing. I didn't have budget. And at the time, it didn't really financially make a lot of sense to do outdoors those 3 years. So I did a few just as, I'd be bored at home and want to go race. But I didn't do all of them. So, I don't know where I really stack up on the leaderboard for that. But, yeah, at the end of the day, I've been doing it a long time. So that in itself is cool. Just to still be out there doing what I love to do. It's been fun.
We've gotten so used to like you and Nicoletti. It's gonna be tough when you guys go, man. We gotta find these other guys that we cheer for because
I'm gonna be sad.
It's gonna be weird. It's like, I mean, I've been a fan of the sport. You know, I was in high school in 08, 09 when you started. Like, it's like my whole life of watching Supercross really is. You guys have been there. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's been a long time, and it's crazy just how fast it goes. You know, it's been so much fun, and like but it goes by in a blur. Like, it goes by so fast. I think just because we're always grinding, we're always looking forward to the next thing. You don't really get a lot of time to kind of sit back and reflect, in our sport, because we have so many races and it's so spread out through the year. And yeah, man, they just fly by. But when you actually like take a minute to pause and look back, and it's like crazy how much stuff I've done and places I've traveled. Yeah, like dirt bikes have brought me to. So it's just been awesome. And like I said, at this point in my career, I really enjoy it because you still take it for granted sometimes, but you take it a little less for granted because, I'm just like, man, one day the light at the end of the tunnel is like, it gets closer and closer every year.
Yeah.
Like, I can't do it forever, unfortunately. So like I said, you just kind of learn to appreciate it more and not take it for granted as much. And, sometimes the crappy days or whatever aren't so bad when you kind of, look at it from that perspective.
So I have a kind of a different way to look at this. SMX is bringing a lot of the riders out to the outdoors because they're trying to get into this payoff. Do you think someone like your caliber, where you're finishing, could make the amount of money you'll make at SMX if the pay for the outdoors was the same as it is Supercross? Like, without the extra races, but just more pay for
more money in nationals.
In the nationals.
You mean, like, would I rather do that than do the playoff thing?
Yeah, would you be able to make the amount of money you would make at the playoffs? Would that be better than having 3 extra races?
I don't know. It depends on how they did the purse. Like, you mean, like, they just, that person added into outdoors, would I make that up?
Yes.
Yeah, so
is that like what you're saying?
If first overall in nationals paid the same as first in Supercross, and if the pay scale was the same.
Man, I don't know. Probably not, just because there's not enough races, right?
Yeah.
Like, I would say if you go around 15th both motos, you guys probably know it better than I do. It's not that much, whatever, for the amount of work that we do for it. But say it's $1,000 or whatever it is, per weekend. Supercross, if you got 15th, I think you might make like what, $2,500 or so, something like that.
Yeah, I want to say it's like $3,000. Yeah.
Yeah, so let's say it's $1,500 more a weekend. Well, you only have 11 weekends, so
right.
It'd be another $15,000 that you'd make, $15,000-$20,000 maybe. Where playoffs, if you make it in, you're making about $2,000 or $3,000 per weekend for those races, plus the payout at the end, the 30 or 35, whatever you make, 25 to 35. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think you still end up making more. But I do wish. I mean, I'm sure they'll adjust some things as we go, and whatever. It's only the second year doing it, but I feel like more of the pay needs to go to outdoors. It's so much more work for everybody, for the teams, the bikes, the parts, the truck drivers, the mechanics, the riders, everything. It's so much more work and harder work than Supercross, and the pay is considerably less when you compare the amount of work, and wear and tear that goes into it. So I wish somehow the outdoors pay got brought up, because honestly, the only reason, like, you see more guys doing outdoors, right? But they're not doing it for the outdoor pay.
Yeah.
They're doing it to hope to get the playoff pay.
Well,
So it's like they're losing money going outdoors, or if they have good sponsors, they might break even or whatever, right? Even if they go there without spending money, they're not making much money. The amount of work they're putting in, they're not making enough money to make it worth it. What makes it worth it is making it into the playoffs and getting that payout. So I just wish they would, incentivize us more to do outdoors just in general, and then the playoff thing just be a bonus. Because I can guarantee you a guy like Harry Coolant, like, that's coming over here, he's probably spending a lot of money. And I don't know the situation, he has sponsors or what that pay for it for him, but let's say he doesn't. The amount of money he's spending to go do these 11 outdoors, if he makes the playoff, which obviously he is, but just hypothetically say beforehand, he's going to spend 30 or 40 grand or more doing the 11 outdoors.
Yeah.
Just to hopefully make 30 or 40 or whatever, right, in the playoffs. So it's like, well, you're just going to break even at the end of the day, right? Like for a guy like him. So how much better would it be if he could maybe make the 30 or 40 grand back during outdoors, so he broke even outdoors, and then he actually makes the playoff money, right? Like, just incentivize us more with the pay, with the outdoors, you know, and then still get the playoff, you know, pay, whatever. I feel like it's still pretty low, the outdoor pay of what we get. And then the other thing to that too, I've heard from some other people and kind of talked about it a little bit, but I do feel like it is a little bit, I don't want to say unfair, because that's not, I don't like the word fair, but a little bit lopsided in terms of, you know, we have 22 outdoor paying motos and only 17 supercrosses.
Right.
And we all know supercross is really, well, that's why we have 17 of those and only 11 outdoors, right? Like, I feel like somehow it needs to be a little bit more even, or maybe a little bit more supercross focused, like maybe 60% supercross, 40% motocross. And right now it's kind of the opposite. If you really look at it, it's more like, it's more beneficial to be an outdoor guy than a supercross guy, you know, to make the playoffs. So
yeah.
I wish they would kind of make it more even in terms of, like, a guy like Coolant can never even learn how to ride supercross, touch a supercross track, whatever, right? And I'm not saying he can or can't ride supercross. I'm just, for example, somebody like that, he doesn't even have to come and ride supercross and participate in supercross, and he's still going to make it into the playoffs.
Yes.
Where I feel like there needs to be something that, like, makes it to where you got to do both or whatever, you know what I mean? Make it, maybe if there was only 17 outdoor motos that counted, where would that put him, right? You know, maybe you drop your worst outdoor moto or whatever. You know, maybe it's the best 15 supercrosses and the best 15, you know, maybe you drop 2 scores in supercross and only count your 15 best scores in motocross, right? Or whatever. So it's a total of 30 point thing races, and who's the best, you know, whatever, something like that. So I again, it's only a second year. I'm sure they'll do, you know, change things in the future as it goes. But yeah, like I said, I do feel it's a little bit leans towards outdoors a little bit more than I wish it did.
Yeah, it's a little outdoors benefits the program a little bit, and I bet they will over time refine it a little.
Yeah, Chase, I was going to say, like, not only that, which, like, it makes sense, like, they've got to figure that out, but there should never exist in the motocross world where you guys can go to, like, a non-sanctioned pro-am race and have a bigger purse than what you guys get attending an AMA national, which that exists now. There's pro-am races, or maybe like a big fair race or something like that, where you guys can make more than you would getting top 10 in a national.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like, you know, like I feel like out in, like, the Midwest and the Mideast, you know, whatever, Northeast part of the country, like in Florida, unfortunately we don't have it that much, but, you know, certain parts of the country during the summertime, in fall time, whatever, they have a lot of, you know, like you said, pro-am, like fair races, money races, and guys can go and spend next to nothing, you know, to go locally, you know, within their region and make pretty good money for not a lot of work and not a lot of cost, you know, up front to do it. So again, that's like I said, that's kind of the frustrating thing with outdoors is it's supposed to be the best outdoor series, whatever, and the pay doesn't reflect that, you know, whatever. And when you really think about it, everything about it, and I feel like this is not a crap on outdoors segment, whatever you're gonna call it, but because I like Davey Coombs, I like them, I love outdoors, and, you know, whatever. But just putting the info out there and whatever, speaking my truth. It's more to sign up to race compared to Supercross. It costs more to sign up to race an outdoor. It costs more to get your license for outdoors. It costs more to get guest passes for outdoors. It's way more work, you know, all that stuff I've already said. But like I said, just to sign up, get your credential, get a guest pass, get a mechanic pass, whatever, to go attend the race costs more money than Supercross. But then the pay is like half, and the work is like double, right?
It's less
like
than half.
Double the work. Yeah. It's double the work. It costs more money, and it pays you less than half, like you just said. If you could work at McDonald's and you get paid whatever for Supercross, you know, call it that. You work X amount, you get paid this much money. Why would you ever Why only work for McDonald's for 6 months and the other 6 months I go to Burger King and it's double the work and it costs me more money to go work there and I get paid less than half.
Yeah.
Well, why would you go do it, right? Like, why would you go take another job and do that? Why would anybody do that? So I wish the way it is now, they're combining the series in the playoffs. There should be more, I'm going to butcher the word, synonymous, whatever, between the two, right? It should be more synonymous with the way the pay is and everything. The points work, the pay works, and all that. They should kind of, reflect each other a little bit.
It should be a little more uniform, right? Like, synced up. I got you.
Yeah, I wonder if that'll ever happen without a union.
Yep.
Hopefully,
I don't know.
Hopefully, with the two organizations working together the way they are, I think we're making steps in the right direction.
Yeah.
The only thing that pays worse than the outdoors is the Arena Cross Series.
Did you have something else?
I haven't seen their pay.
Oh, it's like $400 to win. You know what I mean? Like it's pretty terrible. Hey, but I had a question for you. We talked about it earlier about it's kind of changing the subject a little bit, so we'll quit bashing the outdoors and maybe something positive about them. We don't want to get kicked out of races. We talked about the MXGP coming over and doing like a joint weekend race or whatever. And
2026.
26, that's what they're working on. What are your thoughts on that? Would you be looking forward to that? Can you what do you think?
I think that'd be awesome. Honestly, in 2026, I'm probably not going to be racing outdoors. So I don't know if I'll be racing that event.
Never say never, Chiz.
You never know, though. You never know with me. That maybe I'll just come out of outdoor retirement just for that one.
What would you?
No, I'm joking. But no, that would be really cool. Like, I would love to see that, all the best guys. Honestly, I don't know if I'd make the motos, right? There's so many fast guys in the GPs and so many fast guys in our series. It would be pretty cool. It'd be crazy how deep the field would be, having all of the GP guys and all of our guys. Motocross nations, you kind of get a little glimpse of that, but it's only, 2 of our 450 guys, right? Or whatever. So it's like to have, 10 or 15 of our factory guys against, 15 or whatever of their guys would be pretty cool.
I agree.
Well, a lot of teams, it's not always about having the fastest guy on the team. It's about the exposure for the sponsors and stuff like that. You have such a huge fan base. If you had the opportunity to spend a season in MXGP, would you do that now?
I would love to now. It would be tough, obviously, with the family. But like putting them aside or just whatever, I would love, I wish I maybe had done it earlier in my career before kids, when I was younger, whatever. But man, it looks, so when I was younger, you have the perspective of I want to race AMA stuff. That's where I grew up and where I'm from. I'm from the United States, and Supercross, motocross, that's the best of the best, right? That's what you want to do. GPs are cool. It's maybe a parallel, but that's over there and we're over here, right? That's kind of the perspective I always kind of had. And man, but now, again, different perspective, getting older, whatever. It would be so cool to go race GPs and travel the world and go see. I love traveling and experiencing new cultures and different places. I would love to go do that. It would be so cool. So, whatever, with me, whatever. I would love to go do something like that. That would be so cool, especially with my family. Like I said, logistically, it'd be tougher. Obviously, now than when I was younger, and just with Brittany and didn't have kids, maybe it's more doable. But if somebody waved the magic wand and was like, "Hey, you and your family, your new GPs for a season and travel all over," I'd be like, "Let's do it. That's awesome. I would love to do that. That'd be pretty cool.
That would be. Yeah, I think it would bring. I think a series like that or a team like that could bring more people watching it and paying attention, bringing some of the guys who have huge fan bases like yourself over there to that series.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I follow it. I don't watch every lap of every moto, whatever, but I look at the results every week. I'll watch a highlight video, whatever, and watch it when I can, and definitely pay attention. Those guys are awesome racers, and what they do, and they're just, it's different. It's the same but different,
Yeah.
But there's a lot of really good talented riders, and guys that are fun to watch, and I love watching videos, trying to learn from them, different styles and stuff, and it's cool. It's cool to watch. It's cool when they come over here and race and stuff. So yeah, a lot of respect for those guys over there.
Kyle Chisholm brought to you tonight by Guts Racing. Chiz, Are you locked in for next year with HEP still, or I think your deal, for some reason I'm thinking your deal is through this year.
It is. There's a third year on my deal as well.
Yep.
So we're kind of in the works of what we're doing with that. Honestly, I'm kind of we're kind of just in hurry up and wait mode. Right now. But when we did my deal, I guess I always do this. I don't really ever get in trouble, but I could get in trouble. But it is what it is. Not that I don't care, but I just whatever. It's the truth. When I did my deal with them, almost 2 years ago now, they said, "Hey, look, we want to do 3-year deal, blah blah blah." And I said, "Well, I want to race one more year, maybe 2, but I don't know about the third year. Maybe I would, whatever." But I said, for now, I want to race one more year, maybe 2, and then for the third year, whatever. So that's kind of what we said. And here we are already going into year 3. Again, time flies by so fast. So the way my deal is kind of worded with them is basically there's the third year, but it's open in terms of like, I want to say it's for something like the team and I will, mutually agree on what my role is with the team, right? Like, so it's not really worded like it's an option of like, do we want to work together or are we going to go our separate ways? It's more like, hey, like here's all the details, here's what the pay is and whatever, all the stuff, right? But we just got to figure out what my role is going to be with the team, whether it's a test rider or a racer or a team manager or a riding coach or whatever, right? Like, it's just kind of worded like my role with the team will be mutually agreed upon between the team and the rider. So I guess they could say, hey, you got to come sweep the shop, whatever. Well, if I agree, then that's what we're doing. If I don't agree, then we don't have a deal, right? It's kind of something like that. So I do want to race again next year. So I don't know that I want to do the full year and do outdoors and everything. As much as the playoff thing is awesome and whatever, but it is tough. And I'm just kind of shooting from the hip and, just speaking, nothing solid, nothing written in stone. But I kind of feel like I would love to do another season of Supercross and World Supercross if it's still around next year. So I'd love to do Supercross and World Supercross next year and maybe do a few outdoors here and there, whatever. And or be a fill-in guy. If they need somebody for outdoors, I'm there. Hopefully I'm just testing and, riding anyways. But I really would like to do another season of Supercross. Outdoors is tough, getting older. I'll be 37 in a couple months. So it's not easy keeping up with the young kids and just recovering. And we race so much, through the year. 17, 20, it'll be 31 races. And then by the time I add in 4 World Supercrosses, I'm at 35 races. Plus, it's not like those are the only times we travel and work and do stuff. So man, 35 weekends out of the year, and 4 of those international. It's a lot. And I think I could race a little longer, maybe even if I just, go back, just do Supercross, focus on that, next year maybe, but who knows? I've honestly really been enjoying outdoors. It's been a lot of fun. It's a lot of work. It's tough, but I have enjoyed it doing it last year and this year. Like I said, after not doing it for a few years, I really have enjoyed doing it and enjoyed the challenge. And I'm not opposed to doing outdoors next year if they want me to or whatever. But yeah, we have some things to work out, figure out what we want to do. I know they're talking to some other good riders, obviously, and what's best for the team is always what's best for the team. If they can get better riders or whatever, more power to them. I think obviously the team, they have a guy like Kenny, if they can get more guys, at that upper level, I'd love being a part of that. I can help make the bike better and the team better and help them get better riders. That's kind of the end goal anyways, right? Is to help the team.
Yep.
So, but as a racer as well, I would like to, race a little bit more. So yeah, we got to kind of figure some things out. But like I said, in my perfect world, I'll do Supercross next year and then World Supercross. And then, whatever we do in between now and then, between the outdoor season, fill-in guy, just testing, riding, helping, whatever. I would love to be helping like Larry with management stuff, a little bit more and kind of get more involved with that side of things with the team. I've enjoyed managing my own, program for quite a few years on and off in my career. You know, obviously not a high level team, but I know what that takes. I just never had the budget, obviously, to do something like that on my own. But I do enjoy like just that side of putting all the pieces of the puzzle together to go racing, and I feel like I could be pretty good at that as well. So
okay,
we'll see what happens. So see what we can decide on the third year and kind of go from there.
Perfect.
Yeah, Chiz, you kind of just mentioned what I wanted to ask is at this point in your career, you know, you've been around, you've seen a lot of things, accomplished a lot of things, being able to help the team, and then, you know, a moment where like you figure out a setting on the bike and Kenny comes back and he's like, that's it, like that's going to help me, and then he go do good, and then the next week he gets a good result. Are you getting more out of doing that kind of stuff than you would say you got a top 15 or top 10 or major goal for the weekend? What is more gratifying at this point in your career?
I mean, honestly, it's still personally like gratifying to like accomplish my own personal goals, right? Like making it in the playoffs or get this or get that or be top 10 or 15, whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's obviously like personally, you know, awesome when you hit those goals and whatever. But it has been super satisfying and like really, really cool. Like when Kenny podiums, wins, leads flat, you know, whatever. It's like we figure stuff out, you know, during the week, stuff people don't even ever see. And then he, you know, goes and wins a race or whatever. He's won a race both years that we've been working together, you know, with the team. So, you know, he's gotten wins both years. So that's been awesome. Just, it's again, same but different. Like it's really cool. Just, I would say almost just as satisfying, just in a different way. It's more like right now, it's like, man, like, yeah, there's a team around me, my mechanic and whatever. But when I hit my personal goal, it's like, I did it, man. Like, yeah, my dad helps me, my wife helps me, my mechanic helps me, the team helps me. But like, I still had to go do it. Like, it's on me to go still accomplish that goal because they can all do their best job. And if I go out there and suck and don't hit the goal or accomplish it, it's still back on me, right? So it's like when I hit that goal or whatever it is, it's like, thank you, everybody. Everybody did their part, but man, I did it. Like I accomplished it. I did what I worked hard for.
Right.
Born with Kenny doing it, it's like, or being a part of it from that perspective, it's like, dude, we just won the freaking race. Like Larry did this and I did this and the suspension guy did this, the motor guy did this. And then Ken went out there and like finished it off. I was the part that won that race. You know, like I can't say that I've never won a race, but I've been a part of helping somebody win a race. Mm-hmm. So it's just different. Like I said, for me, it's like, man, I did it. Where when Kenny goes and does it or whoever, it's like, man, we did it. You know what I mean? It's just a little bit different of a way to, I guess, look at it. Yeah.
All right. Well, Chiz, dude, it has been, as always, great catching up with you. You know, I say this every time. I've been a fan since 2011, man. Houston, 2011, a bad night for you, but it became what drew me to follow you, and I've been a big fan, so I just am honored that you still come on the show and that we become buddies, and I always enjoy watching you race. So let's go out there. Let's kick Marshal Weltin's ass this weekend, Ironman.
And Dino.
Dino. Yeah, Dino. Man, I do love me some Dino, though, but
I know. Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, like, who can we drop out of contention to move Dino in? Like I like Harlan, like Kula. I don't know Hari Kulas or whatever. So if it was possible, let's just bump him to the LCQ.
Yeah, I don't.
What a dick move.
He's been riding really good. I like Dino too, but gotta take care of business.
That's it.
Goal, so.
Team Chiz for life. So let's get it done. And thanks for jumping on the show, Kyle.
Yep. No, thank you. You're an OG. I appreciate it, and I always love talking to you guys and coming on the show. So I appreciate you having me on.
Anytime, man. We'll talk to you soon, and I guess we'll see you at Fort Worth. That's the next one I'll be at. So see you in a few weeks.
Perfect. Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
All right, see ya. That's Kyle Chisholm tonight, brought to you by Guts Racing. Always a good time with Chiz on the phone. I was just making funny, but we did actually ask that basically same question, but it was a year ago. It was like maybe even a year and a half ago. It was when he first started testing. Yeah, I was just giving you a hard time. But
did we ask if it was more gratifying?
I think that was the question I asked.
Exactly. The wording was like spot on.
Yeah, I think I said what's more rewarding for you is, but it doesn't matter. It was a year and a half ago. It's fine.
Oh, then why'd you bring it up?
Just because I want to make fun of you.
Oh, okay. Well, let's move on.
Yeah, because I'm a bully.
Yeah. Number one bully.
Nobody put me on their list. Damn, I got to try harder.
Yeah.
That was too easy.
All right, EVS picks for Ironman. We're going to do 250s and 450s. So I'll do mine first if you guys want to think about yours.
250s and 450s.
Yeah, final round of the year. Over the past 39 years, EVS Sports has established itself as the leader in innovation and technology when it comes to designing protection gear for today's motocross riders. Athletes like RJ Hampshire, Kyle Chisholm, Freddie Norn, Axel Hodges, and Travis Pastrana all wear EVS when they race, ride, or whatever Travis decides to do that day. So check out evs-sports.com and use the code VITALMX30, that's all caps, to save. Why would you not go to evs-sports.com and save on some knee guards, knee braces, chest protector? I mean, who doesn't like to save money?
I feel naked without my EVS chest protector.
Yeah?
It feels weird when I ride
right
without
now?
one. No, when I ride.
Oh.
When you ride?
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Did you save by using Vital MX30?
I bought it like probably a couple before we got picked up by Vital, but
Damn, should have used that code. Anyway, visit evs-sports.com. We appreciate them
Should have just said
sponsoring
yes.
us. EVS on the T-shirt right here. Thanks to them.
That's a sick shirt.
Yeah, it's cool.
when I was gonna say that was a sick shirt when we got here, but last time I did that, you made a thing of it for me complimenting your shirt, so I just kept my mouth shut.
Wait, like you're starting to break him.
I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
Starting to break
You did. I like it's a nice shirt, and you're like, oh, it's just a shirt. It's just one out of
Start to
one.
break
It's
it.
just one out
Crying
of.
emoji
It's just
or
one out of
crying
200.
sound drop.
It's just 1 out of 200 goggles. There's no big deal.
You're starting to break him. I'm telling you.
We're getting there.
Yeah.
We're getting there. The plan is coming together. Okay, my 450 picks. Hunter Lawrence for the overall, Chase Sexton second, Aaron Plessinger third, 450s. Okay?
Chase wins, he sews it up.
He does win the championship, yes.
If he wins first moto, I'm saying? Like, is it like...
Even if he gets second,
I'd have to sit and do the math, man.
he's 28 points back.
Okay.
First gets 25 points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
If he would have to do, have to get outside. If they outside the top 20, they tie.
Okay.
In the second moto.
If he wins the first moto, so I'm going to say he goes 1-2.
Yeah, that's what I was
Hunter
thinking.
2-1.
And he would win if we didn't tie because he has more overalls.
And then my 250 picks are Chance Hymas, Hayden Deegan, Levi Kitchen.
You know, those are really good picks in the 250 class.
Okay.
I never pick with my heart how you say it, but I'm gonna pick 250. Vial is gonna get the overall.
That'd be cool to see him to get
I just
overall.
want to see it.
Yeah,
I just want to see it. And then Hymas and Kitchen.
Okay.
And then I just
How did Hymas do this?
He got hurt. Remember? Didn't he get hurt?
He got hurt at Unadilla.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, how was he this weekend? I don't really remember.
I
think he was okay.
I had the results in front of me, and I just got rid of him.
I thought he got second in a moto, didn't he?
Hang on. I can't remember that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Where we at?
8-2.
8-2. Yeah, he got second
That's
in
good.
the moto.
Yeah. Okay, so he's good.
Yeah.
And he got I think he went down the first moto.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's why I got the 8.
Yeah, that's why I got the 8. And then in the 450s, we'll go Hunter, Chase, Eli.
Okay.
That's
That's
what I want to see.
I was going to do one
This is the
like
last
that.
round of the season, the whole of the regular season, and I've been kind of like voting with my gut, being probably pretty close to right. So let's see if I can vote with my heart and still right.
AP is really good at Ironman. Like
Yeah.
that's like kind of his kind of track.
But for some reason, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just feeding into the hype. But I feel like Eli wants to go to MX MX Nation.
Yeah, that's part of the reason he came
Yeah,
back.
don't make him pull it out of the bag, right?
That's
Like,
what I'm saying. Yeah, he wants it. So yeah.
It'd be awesome. If
That's
he came
why
out
I
and just
picked
won.
him. Yeah, it's like that's what I'm saying. Is like you can't say that he couldn't. I mean, he
Right.
probably
nobody's
won't.
saying he couldn't, but
it's that's
You
I think
are.
I am.
Him.
you and the media elites.
He's talking about you.
Oh, I didn't say he couldn't.
Well, we could pick it for the podium.
Yeah, who's your pick?
I did it last week. I did picked it for Butts Creek, and nobody even said anything. So now, So now that we've seen the flash,
We'll get there eventually, TJ. Don't worry.
250s. I'm gonna go.
It's a nice shirt.
I'm gonna go. Kitchen. Deegan. Jalik.
I like the swell pick.
Yeah.
I sure would like to see him get a podium.
He was so close.
Yep.
Yeah,
Wasn't he like
he
on the
got
podium,
one.
and then there were some passes, and he lost.
He got an overall podium
Yeah,
at Unadilla.
I just like to see him get another one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I think he's got the momentum going his way. And then 450s, I'm gonna go. Let's get weird. I'm gonna go AP, Chase, Tomac. That's 2 weeks. Actually, I can't take Hunter out of the top 3 2 weeks in a row. I'll put Hunter at third.
See, not a believer.
He's a believer, but not a believer.
Last week I picked Tomac, so this week I didn't. He'll do it.
All right, guys, we'll be back next week. We'll have a show Tuesday night before we leave for Pulp Ride Day. We'll do a season recap, Ironman recap. Should be fun. I don't know who the guests are going to be just yet, but I want to thank Racetech and Yamaha Motor USA for being presenting sponsors. I want to thank Guts Racing, FXR, X-Brand Goggles, Pro X, EVS Protection, Evans Coolant, Barnett Clutches, T-Bolt USA. These 2 dill holes over here, TJ and Scotty. I want to thank Kyle Chisholm, Cameron Durow, Marshal Weltin. It's been a fun show. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Other than that, we're out.